Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio, and welcome to the NFL's opening weekend, and a good matchup for you here today. Some Cleveland area royalty is here in the house today. LeBron James, and we get ready for football here on this opening weekend. It's the Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Joe Buck. Troy Aikman and Pam Oliver are coming right up. Well, these are two teams who come in with big expectations here in 2008. The Cowboys won 13 games a year ago, but they shot blanks in that playoff game against the New York Giants, while the Cleveland Browns, Troy Aikman, won 10 games, but they missed out on the postseason by a victory. So let's talk first about what we expect to see here today. You have to believe we're going to see a lot of points out on that field.
Yeah, I don't see any other way around it, Joe, to be honest with you, because Dallas comes in and we know how explosive they are on the offensive side of the ball. They score a lot of points, you know, and then they're going against a Cleveland defense that is young, especially in the secondary. So for Cleveland, it looks to me that if they're going to have a chance to win this game, they're going to have to be able to match that and score a lot of points themselves.
Oh, to be a Dallas Cowboys quarterback and have a lot of weapons, and that's exactly what Tony Romo has. I mean, he's got them all over the place.
It really does. I mean, Terrell Owens is back, healthy as ever, and looking good. Focusing on him as a defense, you know, then all of a sudden you forget about a guy like Jason Witten. And then the guy who really is getting an opportunity this year that he's maybe not had is Marion Barber. He will be the featured guy this season, unlike, you know, the last couple of years. And I know that he's excited about that. And Tony Romo's looking forward to utilizing all of these weapons.
Special teams always a big factor in a game like this. And for Cleveland, they're without their Pro Bowl return man Joshua Cribbs. They do have Derek Anderson at quarterback. He got the new deal, Troy, and for the first time, it's all on him, man. He is their guy.
He is their guy. We had a chance to watch him in practice. He had missed a couple of weeks because of a concussion. He says he looks fine. He looked fine, and I know he's looking forward to having a big day here today.
The Cleveland Browns will receive the football. It's a change to the rules that the teams now can defer with the opening coin toss. Dallas won the toss. They deferred. The Browns will take the football here at the start of the afternoon. So we'll get that early peek into just how healthy Derek Anderson is and how well this offense comes out of the chute. Cindric step toe, waits for it, takes it. Crosses the 25, and he is wrapped up at the 29. And Troy Aikman, this is an offense for the Cleveland Browns. If fans are out there watching this team for the first time in over a year, they need to realize this is a good group up front, and this is a team filled with playmakers on offense.
Yeah, the only change up front is they're starting Seth McKinney, who was a backup guard because of the injury to Rex Hadnot in the last preseason game. But you know, you're right. The one question right now, Joe, is that this group really did not get an opportunity to play together in the preseason.
Jamal Lewis takes the opening handoff. He was questionable coming in, a game-time decision. Picks up 3. He's been bothered by a bad hamstring, and evidently Dante Stallworth, an addition for this club, is bothered by a bad groin, and he is iffy today. Here's a look at this defense, and this is that 3-4, and this is a side of the ball that's also filled with guys who ended up in Honolulu.
And they were a good defensive unit last year, and I think they got themselves better with the addition of Zach Thomas, of course, Pac-Man Jones making the start at corner today.
A screen set up, well executed. Jamal Lewis out across the 45, picks up 14 yards, and it's been Lewis twice. He had a big year last year, over 1,300 rush yards, bouncing back from 2 subpar seasons in Baltimore.
You know, you come into a game like this against a couple of pass rushers in DeMarcus Ware and then Greg Ellis on the other side, and you start them off with a screen play like that just to make sure that they understand we're not going to let you just pin your ears back and come after Derek Anderson, our quarterback. You're going to have to account for some of these screens.
First down at their own 46. Quick setup and throw, and that's their outstanding tight end, Kellen Winslow, good for 6 yards. Well, everybody, Troy, talks about Kellen Winslow's hands. And when you watch him, even during warm-ups, he almost fans those fingers out, and it's really something to watch him receive a football.
Yeah, and I tell you what was impressive to me was at practice. You know, one of the guys there was a teammate of mine, one of the coaches, Alfredo Roberts, and he said he has the work ethic of a guy like Michael Irvin. Well, in my book, you can't give a guy higher praise than saying he works on the practice field like Michael Irvin.
Second down and 4. It's Jamal Lewis picking his way through this defense, about a yard short of a first down, a gain of 3. It is the opening possession of this game, and a good matchup here in Cleveland with the Cowboys and the Browns. First few plays, a lot of Jamal Lewis, who was iffy with a bad hamstring. He looks okay. 14-yard gain on a screen pass. One completion to Kellen Winslow, and now a 3rd and 1. A blitz. Anderson never got the football, then tried to get on top of it. The ball came loose, and we'll wait for a signal. Evidently just a stop, and Derek Anderson got the ball, a loss of 1. And so on 3rd and 1, this Dallas defense holds, and Anderson had trouble with the snap.
And sometimes, you know, you get bodies over the center, and the snap tends to then be a little bit short. You know, shouldn't have those kinds of issues, particularly with a center like Hank Fraley and then Derek Anderson, who I know came in last year but has played plenty.
Adam Jones waiting for the punt from Zastadil, and the punt ends up in the end zone. So the Browns moved it a bit, stall on 3rd and 1, and now Tony Romo and that very good Dallas offense will go to work.
So, EJ, we've designed you a signature shoe worthy of a 3-time All-American with mad smarts and sick leadership skills. Ta-da!
There are over 380,000 NCAA student athletes.
Yeah, you got your GPA embossed, right? There.
Going other than sports.
Can I get it in a loafer for casual Fridays?
Yes. Yes.
NASN is giving you the chance to choose what you want to see with an MLB viewer's choice. See the Twins face off against the Rays in Tampa Bay. The White Sox battle the Yankees in New York, or catch the Phillies fight for a win against the Braves in Atlanta. Choose which game you want to see and visit NASN.com now to cast your vote. A Major League Baseball viewer's choice. Watch the winning game live on September 18th, only on NASN.
$73,000 fans are packed into Cleveland Browns Stadium, wondering what they're going to see out of their defense. Some additions up front for a club that ranked 30th in total defense a year ago. Romo will start the day with a throw all day, and over the middle completes. That's Marion Barber, and he's good for 4. Offensively, this is a big offensive line. They're without Kyle Kozar at left guard, but Proctor gets the start, and in the words of Romeo Crennel, Troy, this is a group that as the game goes on, they just wear you down.
Yeah, they can just beat you in so many different ways. And, you know, they'll come out, what they did last year is they like throwing the ball early. Jason Garrett, the offensive coordinator, that's his philosophy. They'll mix in the running game, and then they just wear you down in the second half with that big, powerful, strong offensive line.
Second down and 6, a toss to Barber running right. A big lane to run and a first down out to the 39-yard line. A 14-yard carry for a guy, Troy, who is going to be the featured man in the backfield for Dallas.
And when you talk about the offensive line for Dallas, and you're going to see how big these guys are, but also the way that they can run. Marco Colombo comes out, and then you got Leonard Davis, you know, the right guard, who is at 350 pounds. And that just shows you the versatility and the athleticism of these big guys up front.
Leonard Davis coming off his first Pro Bowl. Jerry Jones stuck his neck out Signed him to a big deal coming into last year, and boy, did it pay off. Played brilliantly at right guard. Out of the shotgun, a handoff to Marion Barber. He's already been busy, and that's good for only one. The defense, Troy, they play a 3-4, and the guy that's anchoring the middle for the Cleveland Browns is Shawn Rogers, who we saw plenty of in his time with the Detroit Lions.
Well, him along with Corey Williams, they were the two big acquisitions this offseason. The Browns made trades in order to bring those guys in. Run defense has been a problem for this team, and they are here in order to help solidify that part of this defensive unit.
Felix Jones on the field for the first time with the Cowboys. A toss to Barber, nowhere to go. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's it, 3rd and long. And there's Andre Davis, who had that green box around his headshot when we gave you the lineups. The reason is he's wearing that communication helmet. He has the receiver in his helmet. He will go out. Defensive coordinator Mel Tucker can talk into that helmet, which is a change from any other time in NFL history. Now 3rd and 9. A blitz. Cowboys pick it up. Romo over the middle, completes. First down, that's Witten. And the Pro Bowler is good for 19 yards. Great protection for Tony Romo.
Well, great job by Marion Barber. You're going to see him come over here and pick up the slot blitz. And that's what gives Tony Romo time. Tony Romo knows that it should be protected. Barber does his job. Clean pocket up front, no pressure in the middle. And then again, Jason Witten. This is the area of the field where he works best. And he and Tony Romo have tremendous chemistry on knowing what the other one is thinking.
That's 5 yards against Dallas. Bill Carollo is our referee.
Full start, number 76, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
They get Flozell Adams, but to go back to Jason Witten, 96 catches last year. That led this Cowboys team. Over 1,100 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns. Only Michael Irvin caught more balls in Cowboy history when he hauled in 111 from you back in '95. Romo with a perfect pocket around him, hits T.O., who makes a juggling catch. That thing wrapped around his body, and a flag comes in late. A flag thrown at the very end of the play after a 13-yard completion to Terrell Owens.
Now I can tell you, Romeo Crennel cannot be happy about what he is seeing right now with Tony Romo being afforded the time that he is within the pocket. We'll show you Terrell Owens where he lined up at, what he had to do to get to where he got.
Play, 2nd down.
So they pick up the flag, and here's Romeo Crennel, and here's Terrell Owens.
I mean, here he is right here, and look, he's going to have to dodge the linebackers there. He still is able to get all the way to the outside of the numbers. That's a long way to run, and that's the kind of time. And look at this guy. I mean, I know Terrell Owens at times has been criticized for not having very good hands. What a catch he made on that play.
So after 1st and 15, now it's 2nd down and 2. A blitz coming from the Browns. Cowboys pick it up, and a little flip to Witten. And Jason Witten is out of bounds near the 10.
Now the Browns are knowing they've got to bring pressure, not just they got Mike Adams now who's coming up, and he gets blocked. The Cowboys are doing a good job of passing it off, recognizing where the blitzes are coming from, and because Adam blitzed and he was not able to get home, that's what created the void in that zone for Jason Witten.
Quick snap and a handoff to Marion Barber, who is ripped down from behind in the arms of Shawn Rogers.
You know, Joe, I know in talking with Romeo Crennel and some of the other players defensively for the Cleveland Browns the other day, they knew that because they are young in the secondary, they've got to be able to get pressure on Tony Romo. They'd prefer to be able to do that just by rushing 4. They haven't been able to do it. They're already bringing secondary blitzes, and they still have not gotten home, and that spells disaster for this secondary because they just cannot hold up with Tony Romo being able to look over the whole field.
2nd and 8. Little play action. Still plenty of time. And now the completion to Witten. And Witten very near a first down at the 1. A completion of 8 yards. It depends on the spot. Davis and DeQuell Jackson, the 2 linebackers, combined to make the stop. And we'll see where they place the football. And we're going to get our first measurement, our unofficial line, and it's either first and goal from the 1 or third down in inches. And it's been an impressive start here for Tony Romo, who put together a record-setting year last year with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and I think you always come into the season opener, regardless of how well you have played in the preseason. And the Cowboys' offensive unit, their #1 unit, they played well during the opportunities that they had. But still, you question just how you're going to be able to put it all together in week 1. You know, right now, coming out and having the drive that they're having, you know, that alleviates a lot of the anxiety that they came into this game with.
Doing it on the road, Jason Garrett, by far the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL. In fact, the top 2 guys salary-wise are going head-to-head here with Rod Chudzinski and Garrett. On first and goal, it's Barber over the top, and he's in for the touchdown. And then Deion Anderson, the fullback, gets into it with Andre Davis. No flags are thrown, and it's 6-0 Dallas, and Barber has his first of the year.
Well, I tell you, they made that look easy, didn't they, Joe?
They did. He's had 25 rushing touchdowns now over the last 2+ seasons. He just knows how to get it into the end zone. You just see it all across the NFL, Troy. We saw it today. You and I are sitting up here watching games. The early action. There is no doubt that it all starts with that offensive line. It starts up front. Doesn't matter how good your skilled position players are. If you can't block, you don't have much of a chance. And when you can, it allows a guy like Tony Romo a chance to sit back, pick apart a defense. It allows Barber a chance to go up and over the top. 7-0 Cowboys early.
Monday Night Football is back on NASN with a live doubleheader. First up, an NFC matchup as the Vikings square off against the Packers at Lambeau Field. Then longtime rivals hit the gridiron as the Broncos take on the Raiders. Coverage starts with ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. Live NFL, only on NASN.
Time to get it on. Showtime. Give me a sip of coffee when I go back in. Oh, yeah. Set the tempo, baby. Let's go. And finish this drive with a touchdown, man.
NASN brings you the very best MLB coverage, including the playoffs and the 2008 World Series. Major League Baseball, only on NASN.
During the preseason, they had re-added a big piece of it, Keith Davis. And the play is made downfield by Davis. A return of 22 yards. Romo and T.O. talking it over prior to the touchdown. And Romeo Crennel trying to figure it out on the sideline. 7-0 Cowboys.
September on NASN. The Warriors of the NFL return to kick off another regular season.
He is in for the touchdown.
MLB's best begin the hunt for October and a place in the postseason. And the college football season is up and running, including Ohio State versus USC in one of the sport's best non-conference matchups.
What a catch!
September on NASN.
Kiss it goodbye! Another tremendous home run off the bat of Carlos Delgado.
The 2007 season saw Eli Manning step into the spotlight. In 16 regular season games, Manning threw for 23 touchdowns, his third consecutive season with at least 20. Number 10, who led the Giants to a victory in Super Bowl 42, heads into the 2008 season with high expectations. The 5-year veteran will look to lead the New York Giants back to the big game.
But they were actually outscored in 07, 88-61 in the first quarter. Good start here for them, and now it's up to the Browns to try and get some momentum. Quick throw to Braylon Edwards, trying to get around the tackle, and what a good job out in space by Anthony Henry. Let's go down to the field and check in with Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, just a bunch of notables out for the Browns today, but luckily for them, running back Jamal Lewis was not among them. The Browns were worried about swelling in his hamstring, and as I walked in with Lewis this afternoon, he said after a night of aggressive treatment, they were able to get the swelling down to a point where he could play. But the hits just keep on coming. A little bit more information on wide receiver Dante Stallworth. Tweaked his groin during pregame warm-ups. They are trying to get treatment for him now as we speak, and they are hopeful he can join the offense in the second half.
Thanks, Pam. Over the middle, pass is caught by Kellen Winslow. And then dropped immediately by Ken Hamlin, but a good completion from Derek Anderson for 13 yards.
I tell you, these tackles for the Cleveland Browns are going to have their hands full, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, and a good job up front in holding out DeMarcus Ware. Kevin Schaefer, the right tackle, doing his job, which affords Anderson some time. And you're able to get Winslow then across the field.
First down at their own 37. Anderson with a pocket, flips it for Edwards. Up, and he can't make the catch. If fans aren't aware of Braylon Edwards, who had a wonderful year last year, physically he's not too much unlike Terrell Owens.
No, he's a lot like Terrell Owens. He's a big, strong, physical guy. He's an acrobatic type receiver. And interestingly enough, I mean, as good a year as he had last year, the coaches, you talk to him, they say this guy's still a raw receiver. You know, I mean, he got a long way to go, and that doesn't sound real good for anybody else within the AFC North. But he's an awfully talented player.
2nd and 10, and a delayed handoff to Jamal Lewis. He picks up 4, and he's brought down by Brady James.
You know, and to follow up with what Pam was saying on her report with Jamal Lewis and that hamstring, you know, I know that the Cleveland Browns, they didn't want to risk re-injuring this as they go into next week's game against division rival Pittsburgh. But that thing can go at any time. I mean, those hamstrings, you come in and you're a little ginger with it, but in one burst, I mean, he could be on the sideline in no time at all.
Well, they really don't have much depth behind him, at least experience-wise. And they're thin at the wide receiver spot as well. 3rd down and 6. This one's batted back into the face of Derek Anderson. A penalty flag is thrown in the secondary. And it's against Dallas. This will be a first down for Cleveland. The Browns are going to have it called against Dallas. The Cowboys are saying it was tipped.
Use the hands to the face, number 32, prior to the pass. Be a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. We'll keep automatic. First down.
That's the rookie Orlando Scandrick. And the argument that the ball was tipped doesn't matter because it was illegal hands to the face, as opposed to a pass interference, which would be nullified if it happened after the ball was tipped. So it's a penalty, it's a first down, and it takes the ball out to the 47.
All right, what you got, Solo? No.
Little play action down the middle. Braylon Edwards drops it right in his hand. Anderson couldn't have put it out there any better, and Edwards could not haul it in.
Well, you know, Braylon Edwards, he had the injury there in the middle of training camp. He's missed basically the last 2 weeks. Has had very little conditioning. Even here, it didn't look like he was running at the speed that he's capable of. But having said that, I mean, that's a ball that Derek Anderson drops right in there. I think that's just a product of not having been out there, going through the reps, getting the work in practice.
He had a lacerated heel August 9th. His teammate, Dante Stallworth, cleated him when they were messing around after practice. And if you talk to the Browns, they'll say we were lucky that they didn't sever, it didn't sever any tendons, but it held him out. And so, as Troy said, he's barely had any work, and the one issue was conditioning. You can see him huffing and puffing right now.
Yeah, and he talked about it, as did the coaches, that conditioning could be a problem, and a lot of players are trying to catch their breath, but when you've missed 2 weeks of conditioning, you know, because of that injury, we're witnessing that right now.
Edwards in the slot. Steve Sanders at the top of the formation. It's third down. Anderson throws for Kellen Winslow. First down inside the 35. 18 yards to Kellen Winslow on third down.
Well, we knew coming into this game that the Browns were going to pay a lot of attention to DeMarcus Ware. You can see Joe Thomas there at left tackle, Jason Wright, the third down back, giving him a chip, slowing him down, trying to present a little bit of time there for Derek Anderson, and a good job of just sticking in the pocket. And you see the hands there by Kellen Winslow. A lot of guys will try to body catch a ball like that. You saw him reach up with his hands and catch it with his fingers.
3 minutes left in the first quarter. Browns trying to answer. Hand off to Jamal Lewis, and he's brought down in the backfield. That was Spears who got in there and made the play, and a loss of a couple on first down.
I tell you, the Cowboys, that's what they want to see from Marcus Spears. He was a first-round pick right after they took DeMarcus Ware a few years ago, and we know what DeMarcus Ware has done. He's made a few Pro Bowls. Marcus Spears, on the other hand, probably hasn't quite lived up to the billing. But this has been his best training camp, and if he can get that kind of push from that position, that's going to help this defensive front, and it's going to help this run defense.
Second down and 13. Pass complete to Braylon Edwards, makes a move, gets around one tackle, that of Scandrick, and picks up 12. Zach Thomas eventually brought him down.
Well, you can see the respect that Orlando Scandrick is giving Edwards, and rightfully so. I mean, when you're talking about a fifth-round pick that's a rookie right now making his first NFL start, and you're going up against one of the premier wide receivers in the National Football League, I think I'd be off him a little bit as well. But when you're off and then he makes the catch, then you got to be able to come up and make the tackle.
Third down and 1. A little rollout by Derek Anderson, throws, and the pass is caught by Hayden for a first down. Good throw on the move by Derek Anderson.
Tell you what, Hayden does an outstanding job on that route of pushing up the field and then leaning on Roy Williams to create separation once he knew that Anderson was ready to throw him the football. Anderson sees him there, and it's about that time that Hayden leans on Roy Williams, creates the separation, and then makes a heck of a catch.
Couple things are going on. Terrence Newman, who's coming off his first Pro Bowl, is out with a groin injury. So that means more playing time for the rookie Scandrick, and a lot of action for Anthony Henry on Kellen Winslow. Browns are on the move. First down, down 7.
Major League Baseball continues on NASN with more live midweek matchups. First up, the A's travel to Motor City to face the Tigers. Then in the National League, the Marlins and Phillies battle as the playoff races tighten. Live midweek baseball only on NASN.
For Reebok official NFL jerseys and much more, visit NASN.com.
Tony Stewart, the pole sitter, will come down and win the season opener. Counter victory lane in Texas. Woo! Yeah, boys. Awesome job. Thank you so much. Denny Hamlin fulfills a dream. The 18-year-old in only his third start is going to win.
Sports action online 24/7. Don't miss a minute of your favorite sports wherever you are, whenever you want it. Get the latest news, highlights, and analysis, and full live game coverage. Simply choose a package to suit you to watch the NHL or NCAA football live online this season. Go to espn360.com and watch live sports online 24/7 now.
The Dallas 15. Under a minute to play in the first quarter. It's been an impressive drive and an answer to the Cowboys touchdown by Derek Anderson, who's 7 of 9. Hand off to Jamal Lewis. And Lewis is brought down by Bowen, a gain of 2. Let's go to Kurt Menefee for a game break.
Well, speaking of gains, this is a big one for San Francisco's Frank Gore. The new slimmer, trimmer Gore breaks through the line and takes it 41 yards against the Cardinals. And San Francisco takes their first lead of the season, 7-3 in the first quarter. Back out to Cleveland and Joe, Troy, and Ben.
All right, Kurt, I'm going on record. That's my pick in the NFC West, the 49ers.
I thought March was their offensive coordinator. What the heck is Frank Gore getting the ball running it?
For more info on that game or more information on the NFL, go to foxsports.com. And the whistles and flags prior to the snap, and the officials look at each other. Browns are saying that the Cowboys came across. Cowboys saying they were drawn off.
Enforcement, 95, defense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's Tank Johnson, and that's some fire from Wade Phillips here in the opening quarter of the season. Two guys who are known for their 3-4 defense. Romeo Crennel, all those years with Bill Belichick, not just with the New England Patriots, but prior to that with the New York Giants. And then Wade Phillips has bounced around, in my estimation, is the perfect guy as the head man with his Cowboy team. And that's the end of the first quarter. We are finished with one quarter. When we come back, it'll be a second down from the 9-yard line for the Browns, down 7-zip. The NFL on Fox will continue after this from your local Fox station.
Monday Night Football is back on NASN with a live doubleheader. First up, an NFC matchup as the Vikings square off against the Packers at Lambeau Field. Then longtime rivals hit the gridiron as the Broncos take on the Raiders. Coverage starts with ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. Live NFL, only on NASN.
For Wilson baseball gloves and much more, visit NASN.com.
Fires touchdown! Amani Toomer on a post pattern.
Pumps, looks, throws into the end zone. Touchdown, Amani Toomer. Walk in the back of the end zone. Nobody open. Now he's it. Toomer's open downfield in the end zone. Touchdown, Giants.
Throws off the back foot. Man, they're caught. Touchdown, Toomer. Pumps, looks, throws left. Caught. Touchdown, Giants. The 50th career touchdown catch of Amani Toomer.
Throws it into the end zone for Toomer. Makes the catch. Touchdown. He got his feet down.
best Major League Baseball coverage all the way to the World Series on NASN.
Joshua Cribbs led the NFL, averaging over 30 yards per kick return, scored a couple. He's inactive because of a high ankle sprain, and then Joe Juravicius will miss the first 6 weeks. That's a big weapon for the Browns. He's had 4 procedures on his knee, 3 for staph infection, which is frightening. Handoff down inside the 5 with the first down is Jason Wright, his first carry of the day. A 5-yard run, and now it's 1st and goal from the 4.
A pretty good job by the fullback there. It looked like Lawrence Vickers, who's going to come across and then take DeMarcus Ware, as you see, coming off the edge. And he creates just enough room there for the runner to get up inside and pick up some positive yards in the first down.
1st and goal. Flip, Edwards, and out of his reach. Some contact there, but the pass well over the heads of both Braylon Edwards and Anthony Henry, who's out on the edge. As we said, though, Troy, this is going to be a day where Henry, for the most part, is going to be in charge of trying to slow down Kellen Winslow.
Yeah, that's the plan coming in. And actually, you know, Anthony Henry has been gearing up for that type of role within this defense ever since they brought Pac-Man Jones in, because of some of the tight ends within their own division, whether it's, you know, L.J. Smith. It would have been Shockey. Of course, Shockey's no longer in that division, and then they come right out of the box here in week 1 against Kellen Winslow and the Browns.
Little confusion, it looks like, defensively for the Cowboys as Jamal Lewis pushes the pile to 3, a gain of 1. It's 3rd and goal. So Adam Pac-Man Jones gets the start. He said early in camp that he didn't want to go by Pac-Man anymore, yet everybody on his team, including his head coach, calls him Pac. Well, he told Brad Sham, the radio announcer, just on game day, call me Pac.
I understand what he's saying. I would venture to say that whether it's Adam or Pac-Man or Pac, he's just glad people are calling him something, and that he's been reinstated and he's playing here in this game today.
He got the start. It's 3rd down and goal. Anderson throws, and dragged down is Braylon Edwards, and a flag on Adam Pac-Man Jones. Now they're going to call him for a little interference.
Well, and you know, in talking with the Cowboy coaches,
pass interference, number 21, defense. The penalty occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
A great move right there by Braylon Edwards, setting Jones up to the outside and then coming underneath him. And, you know, really he had no choice in order to try to keep from giving up the touchdown. You know, he makes the tackle and definitely pass interference. But that shows the rust that Pac-Man Jones has for a guy who just hasn't been playing for well over a year.
Hand off to Lewis, and he goes back to the 2. That's 2 times now on this possession that the Browns have been able to get a fresh set of downs because of a penalty on 3rd down. One on Scandrick, the latest one in the end zone by Jones.
Well, and the Browns are trying to run this ball over that left side with Joe Thomas being their best offensive lineman, and then Eric Steinbach, you know, they're at left guard, but they've just not been able to create much movement, you know, in this defensive front for the Cowboys.
2nd and goal. Play action. Anderson fires for the touchdown. That's Winslow.
go play action. They move Kellen Winslow in an attempt to keep him from getting jammed at the line of scrimmage, but Hamlin still gets his hands on him, and then he lets him go. I don't know if that was Henry, who maybe should have came up and picked him up, or whether Ken Hamlin should have stayed with him. But hard to believe you turn a guy like Kellen Winslow loose down there in the end zone.
That was almost blocked. Dawson knocks through the extra point in a drive that took just under 9 minutes. 2-yard touchdown throw. Anderson to Winslow. We're tied at 7.
Major League Baseball continues on NASN with more live midweek matchups. First up, the A's travel to Motor City to face the Tigers. Then in the National League, the Marlins and Phillies battle as the playoff races tighten. Live midweek baseball only on NASN.
The crowd on its feet. He's using it all, isn't he, Danny? Dale Jarrett is going to win it. Dale Jarrett has won the Brickyard 400.
There is Ned helping spot for Dale. Totally dominating performance this afternoon by Dale Jarrett. And Dale Jarrett wins the Brickyard 400 for the second time. He wins in 1996 and again here in 1999.
Franz, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday Franz Beckenbauer, happy birthday to you. So what would you most like for your birthday?
Well, it would be nice to turn the lights off and bring in a cake, but seriously, if ESPN Classic were to play all the games in my whole career, which were the best ones, that would make me very happy.
And so we make his day with an evening dedicated to the Kaiser at his very best. Happy birthday, Beckenbauer. The 11th of September on ESPN Classic.
Winslow caught only 5 passes his first 2 years because of injuries. He's made up for lost time the last 2, and now he gets the first points of the season on that 2-yard touchdown flip from Derek Anderson. 2 big Dallas penalties on 3rd down kept the drives alive. And now here is a return by Felix Jones, the rookie. Caught the line drive kick by Dawson and now gets it to the 30, and that's all. 20-yard return, Shante Orr on the stop, and Romo enters the field again. We're tied at 7.
I designed the user interface for the navigation and sync systems.
NASN is giving you the chance to choose which live game you want to see with an MLB viewer's choice. See the Twins face off against the Rays in Tampa Bay. The White Sox battle the Yankees in New York, or catch the Phillies fight for a win against the Braves in Atlanta. Choose which game you want to see and visit NASN.com now to cast your vote. A Major League Baseball viewer's choice. Watch the winning game live on September 18th, only on NASN.
I got
snap to Romo. Play fake, throws it in the end zone. Jason Witten.
Romo shotgun, looks right, looks left. Now fires over the middle, touchdown. Romo throws over the middle, touchdown. That's 4 for quarterback Tony Romo.
We're down, NFL Phillies. Let's
go. September on NASN. The Warriors of the NFL return to kick off another regular season.
He is in for the touchdown.
MLB's best begin the hunt for October and a place in the postseason. And the college football season is up and running, including Ohio State versus USC in one of the sport's best non-conference matchups.
What a catch!
September on NASN.
We welcome you back to Cleveland Browns Stadium. A look at that program from 1962. With Jim Brown on the cover and Paul Brown on the inside flap. And if you look at the born September 7, 1908, this today would have been his 100th birthday. An Ohio man through and through. Started Miami of Ohio, won a championship at Ohio State, one here with Cleveland, one in Cincinnati. As Romo is flush, throws Creighton his first of the day. And even when they have to put Romo on the move, he is able to fire a strike, and he hits Patrick Creighton for 18 yards.
Well, he does a good job getting the ball to Creighton, and Creighton runs a good route. But had he have not gotten the pressure there at the end, he had Terrell Owens for a touchdown right down the middle. Terrell Owens put a heck of a move there on the defensive back that gave him a free run right to the post.
That's Mike Adams who made the stop. He's getting the start at free safety in place of Brodney Poole, who's out with a concussion. Third concussion in his 4-year career for Brodney Poole. Penalty flags on the play as Barber picks up a couple over the right side. And it's a false start.
Illegal formation on the offense. Number 89 covered up the tight end. 5-yard penalty.
Well, the Cleveland Browns were the third most penalized team in the NFL a year ago. They have not been called for an infraction yet. Dallas now has been flagged 5 times, 2 big ones on defense, when the Browns put together that basically 9-minute drive to tie the game. This is only the second possession for the Dallas Cowboys. That's good news for this Browns defense.
Replay first down.
So they'll march it back 5 yards. Replay first down. It's 1st and 15. And that's one way to try and keep this game within reach with this good Cowboys offense. Keep them off the field, and that's what that last drive did by Cleveland.
Yeah, not only keep them off the field, but then score touchdowns like Cleveland did in order to keep pace with this Cowboys offensive attack.
1st and 15 and a delayed handoff to Marion Barber. Great blocking out in front of him. He does not go down easy. And he's inside the 35 to the 33. Good for 22 yards.
Yeah, normally when you see Marion Barber make these types of runs, it's after he's broken about 4 tackles, but there was nobody there. You see, he's through the line. He's 15, 20 yards up the field before anybody even gets close to him.
You know, so much has been made, Troy, about his running style. It's been something that's been a focus by the media in Dallas, that he seeks contact, and that will therefore cut short what could be a very good career at running back for the Cowboys. Out of the shotgun, plenty of time, and coming across the field is Tony Curtis, who was flipped down to the 25-yard line, a gain of 7.
I just think that shows you some of the maturation of Tony Romo. They spread everybody out, and then he has the patience in order to find the open guy. And, you know, as you can see, it's going to be a long day. Already has to a certain extent for this Cleveland defense if they're not able to force more pressure on Tony Romo. The offensive line doing a good job. Even when the Browns have brought pressure, the Cowboys have seen it, they've identified it, and they've blocked it.
Second down and 2. And this one for the fullback. Penalty flag flies, and it's out of the reach, or at least off the hands of Deion Anderson.
It looks like they're going to get left guard Corey Proctor on a hold.
Get the call from Bill Carollo, and here's the 6th infraction.
Holding, 71, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
That's Sean Rogers, who puts a good spin move on him. that one's easy to call. But Sean Rogers, I tell you, Joe, we've seen him in Detroit. They said he has been an absolute delight here in Cleveland. And when he cranks it up, there's not many people who can block that big man.
Blitz coming from the Browns. Cowboys pick it up. Romo all day. T.O. Too easy. Touchdown. And a penalty flag for the celebration.
Well, you see the linebacker blitz there. DeQuell Jackson comes up the middle, and again, it's blocked up. There's plenty of time. But look on the back end. You got Terrell Owens in the slot, and the play there, that was Brandon McDonald in coverage, and they just look a little bit lost once they get threatened by Terrell Owens in the secondary.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 81, offense. The player went to the ground with the celebration act. It's a 15-yard penalty and forced on the kickoff.
Kind of an Olympics, an homage to the Olympics with a little sprinter start. And once he goes down, that's the rule. You can't do a cartwheel. You can't do anything where you go down to the ground. When he placed his hands down on the ground, went down on a knee, that's why he got the flag.
Well, I'll tell you, he looked like the Bolt on that play.
Second all-time now, tying Chris Carter with touchdown number 130. And he has done it in far fewer games, and there are few that are any easier than this one. Romo with all day. Owens behind the defense. He got the flag, but he got the score, and it's 14-7 Dallas.
There was a moment there where I thought, that was a pretty doggone good throw. I can probably play.
My sophomore year against Thomasville, I only got 3 balls. And those 3 went for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. I knew right then that I was on my way.
And the stadium was rocking, it was packed. Got a total of 400-some yards. That's when I knew.
When people stopped calling me Archie's boy, started calling me Peyton, that was a big moment for me.
It's been a wonderful ride for the Patriots. Are able to participate and watch a part of history.
What a statement this is. It's what the Patriots do best.
Airs it out downfield. Randy Moss. Touchdown, Wes Welker.
The Patriots were flawless.
And for the 4th time in 7 years, Super Bowl, here we come.
At 8 for 8. His personal best to start a game is 9 straight completions. So he's been perfect. The protection in front of him for the most part has been perfect. And if the quest for this Browns defense, Troy, was to get pressure with the front 7 to take the pressure off that young secondary, that has not happened.
No, it hasn't. And I know in talking with Tony Romo, he said we practice at such a high pace and a high tempo that the games are a lot like practice. Well, even more so here today because Tony never gets hit in practice and nobody's gotten near him here in this first half.
But after the penalty against Terrell Owens, Folk has to kick from the 15, so the Browns should end up with very good field position. Step toe instead of Cribbs, and that kick is well covered. So the Cowboys make the play. It was Tashard Choice making the tackle. Cleveland has it down 7.
NASN is Europe's #1 network dedicated to the very best in top live North American sports 24/7. Your home for full season coverage of the NFL, MLB, NHL, college basketball, college football, ESPN's top-rated magazine shows, and and lots more live sports action. Visit NASN.com for more information.
ESPN 360. Whenever you're online, you're at the game.
Tampa Bay's Evan Longoria.
Swing a high fly ball, deep left field. Anderson going back at the track to the wall. It's gone. Rays win. Rays win. A 2 by Evan Longoria, and the Rays win it in the bottom of the ninth. And Longoria is going to join the team meeting at home plate.
NASN brings you the very best MLB coverage, including the playoffs and Major League Baseball, only on NASN.
One of the greatest athletes this country has ever produced. Jim Brown, who led the league in rushing 8 of his 9 years, went into the Hall in 1971, and we had the honor and pleasure of getting to say hi to him on Friday at practice.
Yeah, I knew that he was involved within the organization, but I didn't realize that he is as active going and attending the practices. He goes to 2 or 3 practices a week. That's great for these young players to see a guy like Jim Brown there.
73. 5
Opportunity is taken advantage of by some of these younger guys when you have somebody with his experience sitting there watching your practice and waiting for somebody to come up and say something to him.
Yeah, and I know he enjoys mentoring a lot of these young players, and you know what a career, obviously. I mean, 8 of the 9 years leads the league in rushing, and he was doing it back then. When you think of the yards he piled up, they're only playing 12 and 14 game seasons.
Over the middle of the field, Hayden can't make the catch. Diving try, but incomplete. It's 2nd and 15 after the Browns just were flagged for the first time for that false start on Joe Thomas. We look ahead to next week. Troy and I will be in St. Louis for the Giants and Rams, Saints and Redskins, Packers and Lions, 49ers and Falcons at the Buccaneers.
I don't know if there's enough days between now and next Sunday for the Rams to get everything straight.
They were taken apart in Philadelphia. And again, it starts with that offensive line. Here is Jamal Lewis. What an impressive run on 2nd and 15. Good for 11. Let's go for a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Carolina Panthers lost the challenge that would have forced San Diego to punt. So the very next play, what did the Chargers do? Phillip Rivers goes 44 yards to Chris Chambers for the score, and the Charger leads 7-3 in the second quarter. Troy, Joe, and Pam. Or should I say Joe, Troy, and Pam, just to be official.
It doesn't matter on this team. On this team, we just kind of mix and match. And, you know, you think about San Diego and the AFC in general, and I know that New England fans are holding their breath to see how extensive that knee injury is that Tom Brady suffered today. The hands of the Chiefs. Here's one that was open and right through the hands of Braylon Edwards. That had a little more zip and was a little higher than it needed to be, and it's 4th down.
Well, there's no doubt that Derek Anderson has an awfully strong arm, as we just witnessed, and you like to get that ball down a little bit, get it around his chest, but you know, still one that Braylon Edwards could have caught. Pretty well designed there by offensive coordinator Trzynski. They went to a bunch set on one side, left Edwards on the backside by himself, but they were unable to convert.
It's Patrick Creighton waiting for the punt, which is off the side of the foot of Zastudil. A bad punt. And Creighton never got near it. Just a 27-yard punt, and Derek Anderson and Braylon Edwards talk about not being able to hook up on 3rd down. Dallas has it, up 7.
Major League Baseball continues on NASN with more live midweek matchups. First up, the A's travel to Motor City to face the Tigers. Then in the National League, the Marlins and Phillies battle as the playoff races tighten. Live midweek baseball only on NASN.
2 outs, 9th inning.
Swing and a miss. No hitter. John Lester has no hit the Kansas City Royals.
Sports action online 24/7. Don't miss a minute of your favorite sports wherever you are, whenever you want it. Get the latest news, highlights, and analysis, and full live game coverage. Simply choose a package to suit you to watch the NHL or NCAA football live online this season. Go to espn360.com and now. September on NASN. The Warriors of to kick off another regular season.
He is in for the touchdown.
MLB's best begin the hunt in the post. And the college football season is up and running, including Ohio State versus USC in one of the sport's best non-conference.
What a catch!
September on NASN.
8.5 to play here in Cleveland in the first half, and the Cowboys have the ball. They're 2 for 2 and taking it down the field and scoring. Perfect for Romo, 8 for 8. Terrell Owens now 130 career touchdown receptions, and he has 29 touchdown catches in 32 games played with Dallas. Here's Marion Barber, who bounces it to the outside and turns it into a 2-yard run. I started to ask you earlier, Troy, about Barber and the conversation about him not seeking contact, and that because of the way he runs, it's going to cut short his career. Where do you come in on that argument?
Well, you know what? I think the guy is a great football player, and part of what makes him great is the fact that he is so physical, and that's his style, and I don't think you can change that. If I were a coach, I wouldn't want to change it. Would you like to minimize some of the contact? Absolutely, but he is what he is, and I think that if that does shorten his career, you know, then so be it. The years that he's healthy, he's going to be a great player in this league.
2nd down and 8 for Dallas, up by 7. This one's Creighton. He is hit immediately and brought down by Eric Wright. Let's go down to the field and Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, the most coached up group on the Browns defense today has to be the guys in the secondary. Defensive coordinator Mel Tucker asking that group to tighten up their play. 2 linebackers, including Willie McGinnis, went over to the guys in the secondary to offer up some tips on how to handle Owens and company. Linebacker DeQuell Jackson told them point blank they need to stop somebody. Back to you.
Hey, I would agree with that, but somebody ought to coach up this front 7 and tell them how to get pressure on the quarterback, because I don't care who's covering. You can put Deion Sanders back there, and if Tony Romo has time to throw, they're going to get some completions.
3rd down and 4. Just get it away. Romo with all day. I mean, there is 0 pressure on him. He throws, and it's nearly picked. McDonald flashed in front of Witten. It's 4th down. I mean, how long is he standing back there with nobody even in his face?
Well, and here's a look at it. We'll show you. Here's the middle of the defense right here. Sean Rogers, they're double teaming him, but he's just not able to get any kind of push. Wembley, who actually is their best pass rusher, he's not able to do anything on the outside against Flozell Adams. Right now, they're just overmatched against this huge Cowboys offensive line.
So the first punt from Matt McBriar. There are his numbers from a year ago. And it's a good one. High hanging punt with Steptoe waiting inside the 15-yard line. Across the 25, forced down at the 27. This Browns team no doubt misses Joshua Cribbs, a Pro Bowl returner from a year ago, out with a high ankle sprain. This Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, it's the television event of the season, and it comes to Fox. Don't miss the season premiere of Fringe, presented with limited commercial interruptions. Fringe is Tuesday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here, only on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised, and that's from the co-creator of my favorite show, Lost.
You know, I will tell you, Joe, the good news for Cleveland defensively is at least they forced a punt. They did not give up any points. And, you know, the Browns were not able to match the last touchdown on the previous possession. They get another opportunity here going in before the half.
Handoff is to Lewis, and a penalty flag is thrown on the play. Lewis picked up 1. And it's against Cleveland.
Illegal shift, offense. 2 men moving, not setting for a full second.
So that's a 5-yard penalty, and the Cowboy players are looking to the sideline. They'll accept it. And it'll bring up 1st and 15. And the Browns offensive leader's pretty good for Derek Anderson. And if you don't know his story, the guy who was not the opening day starter a year ago. Browns came out and were taken apart by the Steelers week 1. 34-7 was the final. They put Anderson in. The Browns finished the regular season winning their last 7 at home. That was Braylon Edwards. Troy circled, and this duck floats out of bounds as Anderson was hit as he let it go. Both Tank Johnson and Zach Thomas were there for Dallas.
Yeah, and unlike Tony Romo, Derek Anderson is at times getting a little bit of pressure, and you see the move up inside. Zach Thomas, they run a little twist with the linebacker, him and Brady James, and Tank Johnson over the nose, being able to drive into Derek Anderson. Looked like they had a shot on the outside to Braylon Edwards.
Anderson getting his first game action. He did not play in the last 2 preseason games because of a concussion against the Giants. Threw 5 picks in his last 2 games last year. 2nd down and 15. Again, a flag flies, and this one is juggled and dropped by Braylon Edwards. Penalty flag on the play. And it's the same call against Cleveland.
And I'll tell you, Braylon Edwards, he's dropped a lot of balls already here in this first half, some of which were not easy catches, but a guy of his talents, one that he typically makes.
Illegal shift on the offense, number 17, and the lineman still moving. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 3rd down.
So that brings up 3rd down and long for the Browns.
Yeah, and here's Kellen. He's probably going to see that each and every time he comes off the line of scrimmage. They want to be physical. Got to do it a little closer to the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd and 15, Anderson has time, comes underneath, and Pac-Man Jones almost got his first. Flashed in front of Jason Wright and almost had a walk into the end zone.
Yeah, not a good decision there by Derek Anderson when you're talking about having to get the ball down the field. Even if they had been able to complete that pass, they don't pick up the 1st down, and it's a dangerous throw late into the flat with a cornerback who's cluing the quarterback. And had he have caught that, it's a touchdown down.
Special teams weapon, no doubt, that they added when they made the deal with the Titans to get him. Much better punt by Zastudil. And Pac-Man Jones got near the 35, then went backward, and they'll mark him down at the 31. Quarterback from 74 to 83, the 1980 NFL MVP, over 4,000 yards, and now resides in San Diego and the head football coach at Santa Fe Christian High. The Eagles, he's been outstanding there, 66-10 record, and he's won 4 division and 4 state titles in 6 years.
And Jason Garrett, the offensive coordinator for Dallas, who grew up here in the Cleveland area, went to high school. His favorite quarterback when he was a youngster was Brian Sipe, and that's why Jason Garrett wore the number 17 throughout much of his career.
On 1st down, Tony Romo with plenty of time. I mean, it looks at this point like, you know, here's a guy in Romo barely getting any pressure whatsoever, and the offensive linemen for the Cowboys look like they're just looking for somebody to block.
Yeah, and that's there's more truth to that than our viewers know. And Yeah, I think this is a very critical series right now for this Cleveland team. And, you know, if they give up a touchdown here and go down 14, not that you can't come back from that, but, you know, they've got to be able to somehow slow this unit down. They forced a punt on the previous possession. I think they've got to be able to get out of this one without giving up points as well.
Toss to Barber running right. Plenty of room to run. He's brought down from behind. Tackle made by Mike Adams. And Marion Barber has a quick 12 and another first down.
And you just kind of wonder, Joe. I mean, you were around as I was over the last couple of days and hearing the comments and seeing what different players and coaches were saying. And, you know, it almost seemed like they were building in a lot of excuses in the event that they didn't come out and play well, and talking about they had Pittsburgh next week, a divisional game and an important game. But I don't know, based on what I was hearing, that this Browns team came in really believing that they could compete with this Cowboys team.
Under 5 to play in the half. All day, pass is dropped to Witten, and that's a rarity. Started to say complete. He was open. The ball was laid in his lap. And Witten smacks himself in the chest and says, my fault.
Yeah, he'll beat himself up for the whole week on this one, because you're right, he doesn't normally have these types of drops. A really good route. He's as good a route runner as there is in the National Football League at the tight end position. Does everything well, pushes to the outside, gives Romo a nice lane. You know, you see Mike Adams coming over, and you saw Jason Witten take his eyes off the ball, you know, just for a split second, anticipating the collision.
See if Cleveland can take advantage of that drop by Witten. Hand off on 2nd and 10 to Barber. The play gets strung out, and Barber picks up a yard and a half. Wembley, the first one there for Cleveland. Brings up 3rd and long for Tony Romo.
And that was a good job defensively by Cleveland in gang tackling, because, you know, Marion Barber, that's the only way you get him to the ground. One guy's not going to do it. And so when you can pursue to the ball the way they did there and get around him and then get him to the ground, now this becomes a critical 3rd down.
Certainly out of field goal range at the moment. Third down and 8. Romo has to pull it back. Backpedals, fires to Barber. Makes a move in the open field, has a first down. Patrick Creighton with an important block during that run after the catch by Barber, and a gain of 13.
You know, they run 2 guys, 2 defenders over to Terrell Owens. He's going to run a go route, little double move. They got a safety over the top. Tony Romo sees that, and then the patience of Tony Romo without pressure allows him to get the ball underneath to Marion Barber, and a good block there by Patrick Creighton.
Cowboys already have 10 plays of 10 or more yards in this half. Pass is thrown to Terrell Owens, who makes the catch. Has enough for a first down again for Dallas, and another quote-unquote big play. This is a Dallas offense that did it all year last year, and they're doing it in the first half here today.
And I would tell you that from what I have seen, they could throw this route or any other route anytime they want to Terrell Owens. I mean, he has been running through the middle of this defense. He's been on the outside running out routes. He's run square ends, and he's run just about anything he's wanted, and he's been open. Tony Romo has not thrown him the ball every time, but he certainly could have.
Felix Jones now in the backfield with Romo. On first down, penalty flag flies, and Tony Romo is finally brought down in the arms of Robert Smith, but a flag is down. Just over 2 minutes left in the half. Dallas leading by 7 and moving inside the red zone again.
Illegal use of the hands to the face, number 22, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Brandon McDonald, the young corner.
Yeah, and he had safety help, so he's trying to get physical here. with Terrell Owens and keep him from getting off the line. You saw the headgear go back. A pretty easy call. Sean Rogers trying to get some pressure in the middle. I've always wondered how the helmet, I know how tight my helmet was, and for those that are at home and played Pop Warner, I mean, it rips your ears off trying to get a helmet off, and at times you see these helmets just come flying off at the professional level.
2 minutes, 18 seconds left, and after that penalty, it brings up a first down at the 11. Cowboys have been forced to punt only once, and Romeo Crennel cannot like what he sees from his defense, particularly up front here in this half at all. Cowboys could let it go to the 2-minute warning if they want. And they will. 2 minutes left in the half. Dallas leading by 7. First down when we come back.
Monday Night Football is back on NASN with a live doubleheader. First up, an NFC matchup as the Vikings square off against the Packers at Lambeau Field. Then longtime rivals hit the gridiron as the Broncos take on the Raiders. Coverage starts with ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. Live NFL, only on NASN.
Adrian Peterson getting his first touchdown in week 1 on a screen and a flat. Watch this.
Peterson caught 35, runs through the defense, and he's gone. 20, 10, touchdown, Adrian Peterson. That's his first National Football League touchdown. It went for 60 yards, and the 4-4 was in play for the final 40.
It's kind of hard to explain, explain the feeling, but it felt so good in the leap in the crowd. That's something I always dreamed about doing. So that was exciting also.
NASN is giving you the chance to choose which live game you want to see with an MLB viewer's choice. See the Twins face off against the Rays in Tampa Bay. The White Sox battle the Yankees in New York. Or catch the Phillies fight for a win against the Braves in Atlanta. Choose which game you want to see and visit NASN.com now to cast your vote. A Major League Baseball viewer's choice. Watch the winning game live on September 18th, only on NASN.
Start for this Dallas offense, averaging 9.9 yards per play. Yet on the scoreboard, it's only a 7-point game. See if Cleveland can hold Dallas out of the end zone. First down, 2 minutes left from the 11. Perfect pocket over the middle. It's tipped by Andre Davis and incomplete. Terrell Owens, the intended receiver, and Davis got his hand on it.
They're going to see Terrell Owens. He comes in motion, and then Tony Romo thinks that he's going to stop in the pocket. Right here is where he thinks he's going to hold in that zone, and that's when he turns it loose. And you can see there's a little indecision there on Terrell Owens' part, and he goes in behind that linebacker. That should have been an interception.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it was more than just a hand. It was right into the chest of Andre Davis. Incomplete. 2nd and 10, Marion Barber. Down to the 7, picked up 4. DeQuell Jackson on the tackle for the Browns, and that brings up 3rd down.
Well, if at this point the Cleveland Browns can hold the Cowboys to only 3 points, I mean, that's going to be a very successful possession on their part.
The ball just inside the 7. No signal of a touchdown. They're going to call Terrell Owens down shy of the end zone, but he has enough for a first down. Boy, it looked like Owens got in unless the knee went down before that last thrust into the end zone. Let's take a look. His knees are up. He looks like he's into the end zone.
From what I just saw, it looked like he was in the end zone.
He was on the back of McDonald. We're inside of 2 minutes, so the review would have to come from the booth.
Yeah, and Wade had his hands up, wondering why it's not getting reviewed.
Now Barber, he gets the touchdown instead. And so the Browns don't keep the Cowboys out of the end zone, and with the extra point coming, could be a 14-point game at the half.
They're going to work off this left side, just a straight handoff off tackle. Marion Barber. And you can see right there, you've got DeQuell Jackson. He's the one guy who's unblocked, and he has a chance to fill the gap and then make the tackle. But he was late getting there, and once you're late and not square on Marion Barber, you're never going to get him on the ground.
About 30 touchdowns in the last 32 games for Marion Barber. And a penalty flag flies on the extra point. Say that again. 30 touchdowns for Marion Barber in his last 32 games. It's incredible behind this big offensive line.
Illegal formation on the defense. Nose guard 92 lined up over the center. It's a 5-yard penalty. Will be accepted and enforced on the kickoff. Point is good.
So now it is officially a 14-point game, and we're seeing a lot already in this first half. And the first thing that has to jump out at you is the job done up front by this Dallas Cowboys offensive line.
And that's not surprising. You know, I mean, this is such a big group. They've been together. Of course, Corey Proctor making his start today. You know, and he's the new about that coming in, and that's how it's unfolded. They've got their work cut out for them here in the second half.
Yeah, and as you said, coming on the air, I mean, if you're the Cleveland Browns, you have to hope that this is a high-scoring day. You have to hope that you do your part on offense.
Has not been over football, so it's going to come down to this passing game, and then that puts added pressure on the offensive line, giving him some time.
Squib kick. It gets away from Lawson, who is just content to fall on top of it back around his own 10. 25 seconds left in the half before we present to you the Visa halftime show. And you know what comes on that. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy have all the scores and highlights. The Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up to the second stats. We already knew that on Thursday the New York Giants took care of the Washington Redskins, and now as the finals have started to filter in, a lot to talk about in this opening weekend of the NFL season.
Yeah, and as is the case almost every year in the season openers, there's always a few surprises. As you know, teams that maybe you didn't quite expect to come out and play as well as what they did. We had a couple of those here today, but you know, for the last several years, 5 teams have made the playoffs that didn't make it the year before. It'll be interesting to see who those will be this year.
Yeah, that's happened 12 years in a row. I mean, that's the very definition of parity, as Jamal Lewis carries it for 7 yards. 5 teams have qualified for the playoffs that did not the year prior over the last 12 years, and that'll do it for the first half. And the Browns fans a little frustrated by what they have seen. Cowboy fans cannot be. The offense has been able to move it seemingly at will. And the score at the half, 21-7 Dallas. Stay tuned for the Visa halftime show with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy right after this. And a word from your local Fox station.
Major League Baseball continues on NASN with more live midweek matchups. First up, the A's travel to Motor City to face the Tigers. Then in the National League, the Marlins and Phillies battle as the playoff races tighten. Live midweek baseball only on NASN.
All right, here we go. Down he goes. Junior hard in the inside wall. That was a burnout.
Johnson has tied the wall. Tony Stewart wins at the Brickyard. His dream comes true. Checkered flag is in the air. Jimmy Johnson from California wins at Indianapolis.
Get it, come get you some. My God, this is awesome.
So, anyone good? Yeah, I got Ellis, Penny, and K-Mac, 3-time Architect of the Year. Who'd you get?
There are over 380,000 NCAA student athletes.
Check it out. The Jay Campbell rookie card. No way! That guy dominates in the lab. Yeah.
And just about all of them will be going pro in something other than sports.
I didn't know he minored in French.
Hey there, Horners. You can get your sports fix every day right here on NASN. Why don't you tell the good people of Europe what they have to look forward to, J.A.?
My J.A. Donde Lounge welcomes all nations. We're multilingual. Bienvenue, willkommen, bienvenido.
Enough of that. Woody Page.
We reach out to you, and as a Prime Minister of England once said, I will fight Mariotti on the beaches, on the land,
Yes, of
in the air,
course.
in the
Mariotti,
ball.
go
I
ahead.
am the IQ of this program, and Woody is a buffoon in the vein of, I'd say, Benny Hill.
You're losing
you know
points,
Benny Hill.
Mariotti. KB.
Oh, I'm like the World Cup, the United Nations of sports knowledge over here. Let's talk about all your countries. Who do you want to talk about? We've got England here. We've got Italy.
Yeah,
We've got
think you know
Portugal.
the rest of those. All right, that's what you get to look forward to. A mute button. Competitive banter on Around the Horn. U.S. sports at its finest. Weekdays on NASN. Horn me.
Got out there. Why now?
Rolling right after a pass interference penalty, put the ball on the 2. Touchdown pass to Cullen Winslow. We're tied up at 7. Don't blitz. Tony Romo, man-to-man coverage on the outside. No one will be in the middle of the field. There it is. Touchdown pass, a 35-yarder from Romo to Terrell Owens, 14-7, and then Barber a 1-yard run, 21-7. Cowboys all over. Greg said, "Go." He can't do that. 21-7. At San Diego, left knee injury. As you see, Sean Merriman, he is playing on that knee. Philip Rivers, he lights it up 40 to the outside to Chris Chambers. Got a good football game here. Carolina on the road at San Diego, up 9-7. Frank Gore over 1,200 yards rushing last year for the San Francisco 49ers. Up inside, bounces to the outside. 41-yard touchdown run, 7-3 it is. 49ers over the visiting Arizona Cardinals. Then the old fade route. Howie, if they're even, what do you do?
Throw it to the back shoulder.
Back shoulder under Thor, 1-yard touchdown to Larry Fitzgerald, and there is your...
You're doing great.
Shut up.
Donovan McNabb, 361 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Eagles' big win. Drew Brees had 343 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Saints' win. The Falcons win. Matt Ryan's debut, 318 yards rushing for Atlanta. Michael Turner, 220 of those alone. Buffalo all over the Seahawks by 24 points. Tennessee loses Vince Young to a knee injury in the fourth quarter as they beat Jacksonville. The Houston Texans blown out by the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Baltimore Ravens win Joe Flacco and John Harbaugh's debut. And the New England Patriots lose Tom Brady to a knee injury in the first quarter. An MRI scheduled for tomorrow. They beat the Chiefs by 7. And Brett Favre wins his Jet debut, 2 touchdown passes in that one. I don't know how efficient Brett Favre was in that game for the Jets, but Dallas right now, Jimmy, is looking pretty good on offense.
Well, Troy Aikman and Joe Buck talked about it this first half. With that big offensive line, if you don't put pressure on Tony Romo, he's just going to eat your lap. 15 first downs, 239 total yards. You have to come up with some blitzes. Now, I know that's one-on-one against Owens and Witten, but you have to come up with some blitzes that they cannot protect. Got to put some pressure on Romo.
As Michael knows, John Fox wants to pound people. He wants to pound people. He brought in bigger people, wants to get bigger up front. D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, they're going to pound you. Time of possession, 1941. That San Diego defense is used to that offense putting up big points, holding the football. They're not used to being on the field that much.
All right, some of you will be getting local news. Others will be back with more highlights as the Visa halftime continues.
Good point. Thank you.
Enter the 2008 Visa Inside Pass NFL Sweepstakes this season. When you make a purchase with your Visa card between now and December 31st, you will automatically be entered for a chance to win a grand prize VIP trip for 2 to Super Bowl 43, the 2009 NFL Pro Bowl, and a 2009 NFL playoff game. The more times you use your card, the more chances you have to win. Life takes Visa. Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL and the Visa Inside Pass NFL Sweepstakes.
My girlfriend's dead. Boy, you're really milking this bereavement thing, aren't you? I'm resigning.
Don't get upset, don't make a fool of yourself. Talk to him. Don't lose your head, please get a grip on yourself.
I just need a change of scenery. Buy a plant.
Welcome to couples counseling. Get even.
I have the right to walk away from you, House.
Get even.
Same time next week.
The season premiere of House at its new time, Tuesday, September 16th on Fox.
It's the show that's become a worldwide phenomenon. Now the smash hit is finally here. And when we say smash, we mean it.
Left arm straight up. Straight up.
The network known for off-the-wall programming really delivers. Make it through the wall and win it all. Hole in the wall. America, it's time to face the hole. Previews tonight right after football on Fox.
When all you want is to see the games you missed on Sunday.
For Colston, touchdown! Just like that, the Saints are back on top. A little more often than he did.
When all you want is expert analysis.
Enough cover two to be a very effective defense.
I said the same thing last week.
With the lead.
Right. When all you want is a date with Thursday Night Football.
That was awesome.
Totally. When all you want is football.
All right, brother, you ready?
I don't know.
Get your nerves up. Let's go. You can do it.
Brett Favre's ready. Brett Favre, play action. Move this safety, Brett. There you go. Set it up. Gun it. Down to the left sideline. 56-yard touchdown reception by Jericho Cotchery. Jets up 7-0. On 4th and 13. Jets go for it due to an injury to their kicker, Mike Nugent. Favre, 22-yard touchdown pass. Jets win 20-14. Kansas City at New England. Tom Brady in. Tom Brady back looking for Moss. Is hit on his left knee by Bernard Pollard. Will leave this football game, and he will have an MRI on Monday. Matt Castle, his replacement. 10-yard touchdown pass. Back in the end zone to Randy Moss. 17-10. It is New England over Kansas City Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks at Buffalo. In field goal formation, the Buffalo Bills, Ryan Denny uncovered, so Brian Moorman just takes it, pops Denny with the ball, 19-yard touchdown reception, 34-10 Buffalo over the Seahawks. Donovan McNabb, huge day, as evidenced by this play action. Here comes the blitz, single coverage, blown coverage, touchdown, 90-yard touchdown pass to Hank Basket. 38-3, Eagles all over the visiting St. Louis Rams. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Get them going, Drew Brees. Been on the road, boys. Nice day. Good to be back home. Jeff Garcia at the goal line. 2-yard touchdown pass to Ike Hilliard. 20-17. It is Tampa Bay over New Orleans. And in the fourth quarter, Drew Brees just drops it out. A little wide flare. Reggie Bush has put it a hand. Nice move. Touchdown. 42-yarder. It's the Saints. 24-20 over the visiting Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You know, in the replays, it looked like Bush might have been out of bounds on that dive, but Tampa didn't challenge.
Touchdown. New Orleans.
And New Orleans now
24-20.
1-0.
That's right.
Your Saints.
That's right.
Okay. All right. It's funny how that works out, isn't it? The Visa halftime continues right after this.
Now, don't you think you change it?
brings you the very best MLB coverage, including the playoffs and the 2008 World Series. Major League Baseball, only on NASN. September on NASN. The Warriors of the NFL return to kick off another regular season.
He is in for the touchdown.
MLB's best begin the hunt for October and a place in the postseason. And the college football season is up and running, including Ohio State versus USC in one of the sport's best non-conference matchups.
What a catch!
September on NASN.
Well, where do we start? And how will this second half begin with the Dallas Cowboys getting the kickoff? Pretty dominant half by Dallas. 4 possessions, 3 touchdown drives of 80 yards, 69 yards, and 69 again. 239 total yards, averaging 8.9 per play. And Jason Garrett, the offensive coordinator, and Tony Romo, they have a terrific relationship, and I don't know if Romo could be in better hands. Undrafted out of Eastern Illinois, did not throw a pass his first 3 years in the NFL, now in his 6th year. Regarded as one of the game's best. And he's out to go down to the field for a report.
Joe, Romeo Crennel set a few basic goals for that. Simply has not been able to meet. He's hoping the second half will be different. First and foremost, he said, getting pressure on Tony Romo. He said he'll try to go about it by sending. Wade Phillips says, got to keep the heat up. We can't relax in this ball game. He is pleasantly surprised by the play of the offensive line. He said just terrific protection for Romo. Back to you.
All right, Pam, and if the Browns do blitz, they better get home.
Yeah, which they did not do when they brought extra people early in that first quarter.
Delayed handoff to Marion Barber, and it was Wembley coming off the edge to make. It is a Cleveland defense, as we mentioned earlier, that finished 30th in the NFL in total defense last year. They fire their defensive coordinator. They hand the reins to Mel Tucker, 36-year-old former coach at Ohio State. He's been 3 years here coaching the defensive backs. And basically their draft was turned into trades for Corey Williams and Sean Rogers to play up front. Not just to occupy blockers, but to also try and get home and apply pressure on the quarterback, and that has not happened as the curtain has come up on the 2008 season. Here's Terrell Owens. He turns his head, makes the catch, brought down immediately, and it's going to be a flag, it looks like, against Terrell Owens. It is. Offensive pass interference.
And just as you said that they needed to get pressure on Tony Romo.
Pass interference, 81, offense.
First, we'll take a look at the penalty with Terrell Owens as he's going vertical up the field. You can see him threatening the defense there in the right hand. He pushes to get the separation there on Eric Wright, and then there he is right there, Sean Rogers. He's able to get by Proctor, and he put a big hit on Tony Romo, and that's the first time I've seen Tony Romo on the ground today.
And he had the big body, 355 pounds of Sean Rogers laying on top of him at the end of the play.
Well, I think that's why when Pam Oliver said that Wade Phillips said he was surprised with the play of the offensive line, I mean, they were expecting a real challenge with Sean Rogers over the nose as well as Corey Williams there at the defensive end position. Had not shown it until that last play.
Play clock at 3, and a handoff is to Barber. Andre Davis makes the play. No gain. As this Browns defense tries to make a statement coming out after halftime. We look ahead to Fox Saturday Baseball Game of the Week. And the matchups, which includes that very good one. Could be a playoff preview. The Brewers and the Phillies. Phillies beat the Mets today. The Cubs lose again to Cincinnati. Arizona leading at LA. 3rd down and 15. That's Terrell Owens. Romo in trouble. Throws it away. And the defense steps up and gets something done for the Browns.
That's a great job right there by Cameron Wembley and this defensive unit for the Cleveland Browns. They come out, they're down 14 points. The Cowboys are getting the opening possession here of the second half. Critical that they don't give up any more points. They do a good job there of applying some pressure on Tony Romo.
Big offensive pass interference called against Terrell Owens. It negated a 31-yard completion. And now a punt from McBriar. Waiting for it is Steptoe. And Cindric is out to the 49. Very good field position for the Browns, down 14 at their own 49-yard line. Frustration from Terrell Owens. Didn't like the call, I'm sure. 21-7 Cowboys.
Monday Night Football is back on NASN with a live doubleheader. First up, an NFC matchup as the Vikings square off against the Packers at Lambeau Field. Then longtime rivals hit the gridiron as the Broncos take on the Raiders. Coverage starts with ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. Live NFL, only on NASN.
I'll trade you a Red Sox home jersey and a Rangers t-shirt for that Pirates jacket.
No way. I want that Cardinals hoodie and that Braves away uniform and an item to be named later.
You drive a hard bargain.
Majestic Athletic, the official uniform supplier for all 30 Major League Baseball teams. Available now all over Europe at NASN.com.
Newman gets the run on the outside. Newman to the lead. Bush to second. Stewart both back to third.
Ryan Newman, Roger Penske win the Daytona 500.
A long, dry spell for this driver. He will win the 50th Daytona 500.
So that's a double helping of live NCAA football with College Bowl on the side. And how'd you like your commentary done? Sunny side up?
ESPN 360. Wherever and whenever you're online, you're at the game.
What do I control? I don't control the bumps and the bruises, the crowd, or who covers me. I don't control the bounces, the shootout order. Or for that matter, what happens outside.
Team. Beautiful day in Cleveland. Handoff is to Lewis. He picks up 5. Take a look at the Browns offense today. They went on a 16-play drive that covered just under 9 minutes, 66 yards for their touchdown drive. And other than that, not much.
Yeah, and a lot of those 4 drives where they didn't really do much with them were, I don't know, so much had to do with what the Cowboys were doing defensively as much as, you know, the penalties that they had offensively and then drop balls.
Hand off to Jamal Lewis, pushes the pile forward, and he's a yard and a half shy of a first down. Talked about that year for Brian Sipe in 1980, and there are some in the area who will tell you that there hasn't been this much preseason hype for the Browns since 1981. It didn't go well that year. They were 5-11. This is a Browns team that'll be on during prime time 5 times this season. Romeo Crennel and this group coming off a 10-6 year where they just missed going to the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's the challenge for teams like Cleveland. You have a good season, and then you got to be able to come back with another one. And you know, oftentimes we don't see that.
A blitz coming from Dallas, and this one thrown out of the reach of Braylon Edwards. Zach Thomas was coming on a blitz right up the gut, and Anderson had to let it go and threw it too high and out of the reach of Braylon Edwards.
Well, that's a tough offensive series for Cleveland, for them to get the field position that they got and then run the ball 2 straight times to Jamal Lewis and get good yardage and not being able to convert on 3rd and then be forced to punt and get no points out of that drive.
Zastudil hangs it high, and that ball's on the ground. Adam Pac-Man Jones couldn't come up with it cleanly, and we'll see who comes out of the pile. It stays with Dallas. Even though the Browns have the football, they waited to see who was going to come away with it. And let's take another look as this went right through the arms of Adam Jones.
Then when he first fumbled it and then he was on the ground, it looked like he was able to recover it, but yet it was in the Browns' possession once they were able to uncover everybody.
So the Cowboys have it as they lead by 14.
Major League Baseball continues on NASN with more live midweek matchups. First up, the A's travel to Motor City to face the Tigers. Then in the National League, the Marlins and Phillies battle as the playoff races tighten. Live midweek baseball only on NASN.
Direct snap to Manny. Back to throw. The rush. Gonna be hit. Gonna be sacked. No, he got out of it. Now he fires downfield, and it is caught at the 24-yard line. How in the world did he do that?
Sports action online 24/7. Don't miss a minute of your favorite sports wherever you are, whenever you want it. Get the latest news, highlights, and analysis, and full live game coverage. Simply choose a package to suit you to watch the NHL or NCAA football live online this season. Go to espn360.com and watch live sports online 24/7 now.
Cowboys who come to the line. Last time they had the ball, they had their first 3 and out. Almost had the game's first turnover moments ago, but Adam Jones able to get back on top of it, and here's Patrick Creighton with a catch and a first down. See that patch worn high on the left chest by these NFL players, and that circle on the field for Gene Upshaw, who passed away this summer at the age of 63. One of the most, if not the most influential people ever to grace the NFL, whether it was his Hall of Fame career or certainly what he did his 25 years the head of the Players Union for the NFL. Here's Barber brought down by Sean Rogers after a run to the right, a gain of 5.
To follow up on Gene Upshaw, I thought it was interesting that there were a number of players apparently that were talking about trying to remove him from his position and weren't happy with the job that he had been doing as the executive director, but yet on the other hand the owners opted out of the collective bargaining agreement because they thought that the players had too good a deal in the percentage of the profits that they were getting in payroll. And I look at it over the years that he was in charge and what these players are now enjoying. I think he did a terrific job.
Unbelievable job. As Romo's backpedaling, has to throw it away. It brings up 3rd down, and again, pressure, and Romo looks like he's in some pain.
Well, he sure does, and that looks like real pain, too. I mean, beyond just saying, I got banged up a little bit, you don't know if he rolled over on a shoulder or ribs or whatever it may be, but when you've got some big bodies like that are coming through and then landing on top of you, meet at the quarterback. And from what I can tell, I mean, pretty obvious that Romeo Crennel and Mel Tucker and the rest of these defensive coaches had a few words for these players because they seem to be playing much more inspired than what they were in the first half. If nothing else, they've definitely gotten some pressure on Romo.
Wembley and McGinnis collided on Romo, and here's a completion to Witten, who's brought down from behind. Play is made by Jones after a completion and run of 19 yards as Romo pops right back up and throws a strike.
Yeah, Sean Jones, 26, man-to-man coverage on Jason Witten, and when you can put a tight end, or when you have a tight end that can beat man-to-man coverage against the safety the way that Jason Witten is able to do, you feel pretty good about those things. And so Tony Romo comes back. He knows exactly what he has. He's got the matchup that he likes, and he knows that Witten's going to beat him, and he does.
Play action from Romo, who rolls to his right and throws short. He had Witten wide open, but threw it low. And Romo looked like yelling at the offensive line a little bit as he was under fire again on that play. Pressure by Sean Smith, and he ended up without his helmet at the end of the play.
Yeah, we're seeing Romo being pressured a little bit here, and the other day I heard somebody say, hey, the Giants showed the blueprint as to how you beat the Dallas Cowboys, and that is you jam Terrell Owens, you don't let him off the line of scrimmage, you don't let Jason Witten off the line of scrimmage, and then you pressure Tony Romo and knock him around. I said, well, isn't that the blueprint against any quarterback or any offensive unit?
Romo with a perfect pocket over the middle for Creighton. Hit him right in stride, and Creighton was tackled immediately by Mike Adams. 25 yards to Patrick Creighton.
And what a great route and great throw by Tony Romo. Creighton does a nice job of being patient. He knows where the hole is in that zone. Tony Romo lays it perfectly over the head of Terry Cousin, and then right into the arms there of Patrick Creighton. We haven't talked a lot about Patrick Creighton, but considering the way his season ended last year on that drop pass, that the Cowboys probably beat the Giants if he makes that play. I can't imagine anybody being happier about the start of this season than him.
Still with all that, career highs a year ago for Creighton in catches, yards, touchdowns. He had 7. Penalty flag on the play, and this one is behind Marion Barber. But a flag is down. See blood coming out of the chin of Tony Romo.
Yeah, I've been there, unfortunately.
Prior to the pass, illegal hands to the face, number 22. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
It's Brandon McDonald, the second-year corner, is making his 3rd NFL start here today.
Yeah, and I mean, a young player, and he's up jamming Terrell Owens, and you know that in order to be effective against them, you got to be physical, and then he gets the hands to the face once again, and here's the hit. You can see that, and that should have been a penalty. You see that Willie McGinnis led with the crown of his helmet, but it looks like Tony Romo's probably going to be taking some stitches when this game's over.
On first down, Barber gets it just inside the 20, picked up a yard. Andre Davis There to make the stop. McGinnis in on it as well. The early game headlines and a big one, which is at the end there. Tom Brady left the game in the first quarter with an ankle. Looked like he got his knee driven into as well on that play against Kansas City. Brett Favre, 15 for 22, 2 touchdowns, and Donovan McNabb. And the Eagles just took apart the St. Louis Rams defense. That was without Reggie Brown on the outside, and certainly without Kevin Curtis. Romo on second down, hits Barber. Scoots to the 15. Picked up 5 yards, third down coming up.
You know what's amazing is to sit here and watch this game, Joe, and even all of last year, is Tony Romo and how accurate he is throwing the football. I mean, even that throw, and not a difficult throw to make, but yet he delivers it right in a position to where Marion Barber can make the catch and still make a guy miss and pick up extra yardage. We saw the throw a moment ago to Patrick Creighton, catch it on the run. There's so many times he puts these receivers in a position to get extra yardage after they make the catch because of where he's putting the ball on them.
Third down and 3, and a handoff is to Barber. Another helmet comes off, and Barber is ripped down right at the marker. Depends on the spot. It looks like he has enough for a first down, and Sean Rogers loses his helmet again.
You know, I've got to believe that this offensive line will take a look and see how it happens. 92 there in the middle, and it didn't even look like it looked like the shoulder pad came up when Corey Proctor was engaged with him, and that is what knocked the helmet off. And if that's the case, the equipment manager, he needs to start doing a better job.
6.5 to play in this third quarter. First down for Dallas. Ball at the 11. This is Felix Jones, the rookie, pounding it in for a touchdown. Touchdown Dallas, and it's Felix Jones getting it after a marvelous career at Arkansas, and he makes good on his opportunity here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and he wanted that ball back. It got knocked out of his hands. His first rushing touchdown of what will probably be a great NFL career. He's just going to take it right up the middle. It's pretty simple. They pull Corey Proctor on the counter play, and then it's him on linebackers and a safety, Sean Jones, trying to make the tackle. And boy, they are raving in Dallas about this young running back.
How about the first NFL carry for Felix Jones results in an 11-yard touchdown run. And a player that the Dallas Cowboys got with a first-round pick they picked up from Cleveland the year prior when Cleveland wanted Brady Quinn. Pounds it in here against the Browns. 28-7 Dallas.
I've got
Monday Night Football is back on NASN with a live doubleheader. First up, an NFC matchup as the Vikings square off against the Packers at Lambeau Field. Then longtime rivals hit the gridiron as the Broncos take on the Raiders. Coverage starts with ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. Live NFL, only on NASN.
To go there and just know that the history of the facility and what it's meant to auto racing in general in the United States is something that it's just kind of like a hollow ground.
It's pretty impressive to see how many names and how many legends in racing from not only IndyCar racing but stock car racing, Formula One have competed.
To grow up as a kid watching the Indy 500, all the greats, AJ Foyt and Johnny Rutherford, Al Unser, Rick Mears. Exciting for me to be able to race on the same track that many heroes.
Major League Baseball coverage all the way to the World Series on NASN.
Dallas Cowboys just introduced their newest weapon to a national audience, Felix Jones, as they tend to that gash under the chin, and earlier we're checking Tony Romo pushing on his jaw after suffering that hit. It opened up the wound, and then he took his team down the field. The longest touchdown drive of the day. This is Lawson. Lawson with a good return out across the 30 to the 33. Kevin Burnett on the stop, a return of 30 yards, and there it is. First crack at it for Felix Jones, 11 yards and a touchdown, and a 21-point Cowboy lead.
NASN is giving you the chance to choose which live game you want to see with an MLB viewer's choice. See the Twins face off against the Rays in Tampa Bay, the White Sox battle the Yankees in New York, or catch the Phillies fight for a win against the Braves in Atlanta. Choose which game you want to see and visit NASN.com now to cast your vote. A Major League Baseball viewer's choice. Watch the winning game live on September 18th, only on NASN.
Buchek continues from the stretch, comes to the plate, and the fastball is drilled deep to left, toward the line. This one hits the foul pole. It's a walk-off grand slam for Mark Ellis. What a way to win it. The entire A's team mobs Ellis at home plate.
September on NASN. The Warriors of the NFL return to kick off another regular season.
He is in for the touchdown.
MLB's best begin the hunt for October and a place in the postseason. And the college football season is up and running, including Ohio State versus USC in one of the sport's best non-conference matchups.
What a catch!
September on NASN.
Look at what they did a year ago. 8th in the NFL in total offense. They have 118 today, and they are in catch-up mode. This good Dallas defense will have a chance to come after Derek Anderson. They do, and the pass incomplete for Harrison. This is tee-off time for this Dallas defense, and that's not good news for Anderson.
Well, it's a good call by offensive coordinator Rob Chudzinski, knowing that the Cowboys were going to try to bring some pressure and get after Derek Anderson, knowing that they're in a passing now situation the rest of this game. They run the screen much like they did earlier, and they just aren't able to execute it.
That's Jay Ratliff, who's the starting nose tackle, splitting time with Tank Johnson. And it's 2nd down and 10. This so far has been a stumble out of the gate for the Browns, and now a timeout. So they have to burn a timeout with 6:11 left in the 3rd. 2nd down and 10 when we come back to Cleveland.
The world calls it.
Come in. Looks like the med school scouts are out early today.
There are over 380,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of them will be going pro in something other than sports. Download the guide for college-bound students at ncaastudent.org.
Right there.
What a devastating shot.
Just obliterated. Smacked down hard on his back.
That was another big hit. Good golly.
Stewart on the right. Ball at the 33-yard line. Derek Anderson has thrown 7 straight incompletions after the 2-yard touchdown to Kellen Winslow early. Flushed out of the pocket, he has to run. And he slides down at the 39-yard line, a gain of 6. Let's go down to Pam.
Joe, at one point, about 1,000 people tended to Tony Romo, that gash under his chin. He's got a fairly unattractive bandage job on that chin at the moment. They also took a good long look at his left hand. He's got a cut on his left hand that also needed bandaging, and they're icing it right now as he talks to Jason Witten. Jason Garrett. Back to you.
All right, Pam. Well, obviously that's something to keep an eye on as this game goes on. I mean, it's a 21-point game at the moment. This could be a game where he doesn't even have to finish. If they don't want to run him back out there at some point. As Anderson on 3rd down can't find anywhere to go with it. Throws, and it's broken up. Good play by Anthony Henry. Pass intended for Jason Wright. It's 4th down, and it's the punt team on the field again for Cleveland.
Yeah, you called it, Joe. That was an excellent play by Anthony Henry, because once the quarterback gets outside of the pocket, you've got to kind of try to decide, okay, am I going to come up and take him, or am I going to stay with the receiver? And he was able to do that. Now, Derek Anderson was afforded a little bit of time there on the last couple of throws that he had. He just couldn't find anybody open down the field.
Anthony Henry broke in with the Browns, was here from 01 to 04, had 10 interceptions as a rookie. And now penalty flags fly.
False start, 87, offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Starnell Dinkins. And this is a frustrated crowd here in Cleveland.
And it's a frustrated Romeo Crennel as well. And the entire group, offensively and defensively, players are frustrated, and rightfully so. I mean, some of the things, they've got some injured players, but some of these false starts and everything else are just unacceptable.
Jones will watch it head out of bounds. Good punt by Zastudil. So Zastudil hits it. 46-yard punt, no return. And coming up tonight is the show that makes Troy Aikman smile every time that we show the promo. Coming up after the OT and tonight on Fox is Hole in the Wall.
Yeah, why would anyone want to miss that one?
So that's coming up right after the OT. And Romo is back out there. Cut up chin and all. First down at their own 20. Felix Jones in the backfield. They fake it to him, and now over the middle, Witten. I mean, Jason Witten has run wide open the entire day. And a guy that caught 96 balls a year ago, there just isn't anybody around him.
Well, and if this was a better throw, I mean, you can see there is nobody around him. If he throws this one in stride, which I talked about a little bit earlier, Romo's ability to do that, I mean, Witten picks up another 30 yards. There's just... It right now is Cleveland Browns just don't know what is coming at them. They don't know what Terrell Owens is doing. They certainly don't know what Jason Witten is doing, and they haven't covered anybody.
4.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Felix Jones breaks loose and just gets tripped up. Saving a touchdown was Mike Adams. And you see that burst from Felix Jones. You said it earlier. They have been raving about this guy and how he has looked so far in camp and now into the opener.
I'm sure Felix Jones, you know, after this run and after his touchdown on his first carry, he's saying, you know, so NFL stuff, it's not all that bad. I thought they hit harder in this league, and you know, he's had a nice hole there to run through. If he breaks that last tackle, he's off to the touchdown.
How about this? 17 plays today by this Dallas offense of 10 or more yards. They're trying for another down the sideline. Some contact with the pass out of the reach of Terrell Owens. So this Dallas team has come out of the gate. I think the expectations are, you know, this was a 13-win team a year ago. If they don't get through the postseason, get to the Super Bowl, this is going to be considered a disappointing season. They have shown nothing here today that would make you think that they won't.
No, and they didn't show anything through the preseason either. I mean, this is a team that, you know, went through the entire 4 weeks without any incident, came into the game, they kept building, you know, to come out here today and have a great performance, and that's what they've done. I think the great thing about this Cowboy team, what they've been able to do is not worry about all the talk about Super Bowls, and they're pretty focused on the process of getting there.
Here is Stanback with his first catch. The former quarterback is starting to blossom as a receiver, according to Jason Garrett. That was good for 8 yards, and that's why I think, even though he doesn't get the credit around the league, I think Wade Phillips is the right guy as head coach of this Dallas Cowboys team. It's a good mix with Jason Garrett as the offensive coordinator, but this is a guy that doesn't really crave the spotlight, kind of an understated guy. Brought his defense. He's a great football coach, and he's done well here with Dallas.
Yeah, and I've said before that if the criteria is always for a head coach that you got to go win the Super Bowl, then every coach would be getting, you know, 31 coaches would be getting fired every year. He has done a good job, but expectations certainly are high.
Oh, how about that? The catch by Creighton spinning around. Nearly a pick, and somehow Patrick Creighton got it. Brandon McDonald whiffed on it, and it turns into a 17-yard completion.
That's great concentration by Patrick Creighton. This is not easy to do when you've got a guy coming across your face like that to try to knock the ball down, and then still being able to focus on the ball in flight and make the catch. You know, they had been looking to replace Patrick Creighton as the second receiver. He's ideally a third receiver in the slot position, but as you said a little earlier, Joe, he's been awfully good as the second guy as a compliment to Terrell Owens. I think now they're pretty happy with his role within this offense.
It's a false start against Dallas. One of the few things that they haven't done well here. They've been penalized.
False start, 75 offense, 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
It's 9 penalties now against the Dallas Cowboys. Really the only issue that they've struggled with today.
There's another look at that catch by Patrick Creighton, and just, you know, what good concentration it was, because McDonald not only came out in front of him, but he also went over the top of his headgear and very easily could have knocked him off that ball, but he was unable to do that. And, you know, Patrick Creighton is a brash guy. He's probably the most outspoken player, you know, on this team whenever he gets in front of the media, but for the most part, he's able to back it up when he plays.
Romo fires to Terrell Owens, and Owens down inside the 10 to the 6. Just right in stride for the most part all day from Tony Romo. That one for 22 yards.
Yeah, and you mentioned whether or not Tony Romo would finish this game. I can tell you that as a quarterback, when you're seeing things the way Tony Romo is today, and you've got the kind of air out there in the defense like the Cowboys are able to create, you hope that this game never ends. I mean, this is fun right now for any quarterback to drop back and just play catch with your receivers. It's as if there's nobody out there defending them, which is really, you know, what it has looked like.
First and goal for Dallas. Already up 21. Felix Jones to the 5, and that's it. Picked up a yard. Mentioned Felix Jones as the player that the Cowboys ended up with by using the pick that they got from Cleveland when Cleveland made the deal a year ago to draft Brady Quinn. Then they turned their picks this year, Cleveland did, into this defense. They traded Lee Bodden and a 3rd-round pick this year for Sean Rogers with Detroit, and a 2nd-round pick this year for Corey Williams and the Green Bay Packers, and it has not turned into the results they were looking for here in their first real test of the season.
How about that? 405 yards of offense for Dallas, and we're not even through the 3rd quarter.
This one's picked off, intercepted by Wright. Underthrown was Terrell Owens, and Eric Wright gets the interception, the first turnover of the day. So while it has all gone the way of Tony Romo and for the most part Terrell Owens, this one picked off by Eric Wright.
And you see Tony Romo, he's staring it down a little bit. He knew he wanted to go to Terrell Owens there, and, you know, because of some pressure, he let the ball go high, and then Wright was able to come underneath that throw. He was anticipating slant, and a bad decision really by Tony Romo.
The return out to the 13-yard line. And Cleveland needs a touchdown on this possession. Jamal Lewis barreling his way out across the 35. What a run. 24 yards for Jamal Lewis. That is some great running by Jamal Lewis. I mean, we've always known that this guy is tough to get to the ground. I mean, you see the contact that is initiated, and he just keeps his feet going. A determined runner right there. They're trying to strip the ball out. He's able to hang on to it. You know, that made me think of that run that Mark Bavaro had years ago at tight end for the Giants. Well, that's the end of the third quarter, and it ends on that 24-yard run by Jamal Lewis. The Browns need some life. They need a touchdown. Down by 21 after 3.
NASN brings you the very best MLB coverage, including the playoffs and the 2008 World Series. Major League Baseball, only on NASN.
All right, here we go. Down he goes. Junior hard in the inside wall. That was a burnout. Johnson has tied the wall. Tony Stewart wins at the Brickyard. His dream comes true. Checkered flag is in the air. Jimmy Johnson from California wins at Indianapolis. Kitty, come get you some. My God, this is awesome.
After a rough rookie season in 2006, the Houston Texans' Mario Williams emerged as one of the league's premier pass rushers in 2007.
Mario Williams with another sack.
Super Mario had 14 sacks in 07, tying him for third in the NFL. Williams' breakout year signaled a new era for the Houston Texans as they posted their most successful season to date.
No words to describe how Mario Williams is playing right now.
Quiet since the first quarter and a half. See if the Browns go in his direction. Instead, a delayed handoff to Lewis. Penalty flag in the area of a hold as Lewis picks up 7. DeMarcus Ware on the tackle, and this one's against the Cleveland Browns. Another guy without a helmet, Tank Johnson. Make sure his earrings are still in.
He got a lot of FaceTime on Hard Knocks.
On the offense, number 68. 15-yard penalty. Replay first down.
I don't know what Tank Johnson spent on those earrings, but he wanted to make sure that they were both in his ears before he put his helmet back on and didn't want to leave him on the grass here in Cleveland.
Yeah, with studs that big, I think I maybe would do the same thing. Of course, I wouldn't be wearing them out there either.
You were more.
Yours look nice today, by the way.
You were bothered by this headset. You were more of like a bracelet kind of choker necklace guy.
Yeah.
From what I remember, as a kid growing up watching it.
Yeah. Got a good memory.
1st and 25 now after the personal foul. That was a big penalty, taking it back to the 22. Anderson over the middle for Steptoe. It was behind him, and then he got drilled. Ken Hamlin with the hit.
You know, go back to that interception that Tony Romo threw, and it hasn't been all easy for Felix Jones. You're going to see here, he's the blocking back, and Willie McGinnis, the veteran, goes right through him. And he'll learn. He'll learn that you got to lower your base a little bit if you're going to be able to take on some of those big linebackers.
Willie McGinnis has said this will probably be it for him. In his 15th year, the 36-year-old out of USC, he's had a tremendous career, and he just introduced himself to the rookie Jones. Anderson steps up, and now he's going to run. Room to maneuver, and he slides down. They're going to mark him at the 37. And a little more manageable third down coming up after a run of 16 yards.
Yeah, not something that Derek Anderson does a lot of. I know in talking with him and then offensive coordinator Rob Szynski as far as his mobility, and you know, he has a size 15 shoe, and that generally is not conducive to being real quick on your feet.
How about with his arm? The last completion for Derek Anderson was with 12:43 left in the second quarter. A 2-yard touchdown pass to Kellen Winslow. So the passing game has been shut down. This one is a completion, and it's good for a first down to Steptoe. A blitz was coming, and Derek Anderson just got rid of it before Henry laid him out.
Yeah, really good job. He's going to get pressure on his front side right here by Anthony Henry, and he hangs in there. I mean, an unblocked guy, he knows he's unblocked. He hangs in there and takes the hit and delivers a perfect ball. You know, a guy that's unwilling to do that, then you let the ball go a little bit high, it's incomplete, and you're punting. A good job by Derek Anderson.
That was a big first down out to the 49-yard line. Steptoe with a catch, a guy who was on the practice squad all last year. This is a Cleveland team. There's Winslow, good for 9. This is a Cleveland team that is very thin on the outside. They just got Braylon Edwards back. Steptoe was on the practice squad last year. They're without Juravicius for the first 6 weeks. Cribbs is inactive. Dante Stallworth hasn't played with a bad groin. They just activated Steve Sanders off the practice squad. They are really thin out there.
Yeah, and I think the loss of Joe Juravicius is really huge. I mean, you're talking about a guy who had 50 catches last year, and it's hard to make up that kind of production.
Second down and 1. Anderson throws, and wide open is the rookie. The catch is made by Sanders, good for 18 yards. Just activated off the practice squad, and he's good for 18 and another first down.
Yeah, and you're going to have Braylon Edwards on the outside, and then you're going to have him coming in behind that. Anthony Henry there at corner, he has to run off because of Braylon Edwards, and that's the hole right there in the middle. Well executed. Good job by Braylon Edwards, knowing that he's probably not going to get the throw, but he was vital to opening up that zone. And Derek Anderson laying it in there in front of Henry.
So Sanders getting a chance and making a catch and setting up a first down at the 24-yard line. Anderson trying to get hot. Play action. Anderson chased again, and he slides shy of the 20. Still took a hit from Henry. And Derek Anderson gets up and shoves Anthony Henry.
Yeah, you know, he takes a hit, but you know, once he got outside the pocket, nobody was really helping him downfield and trying to get open for him. Here's the end of that play when, you know, he gets smart and then finally goes down, and you know, you give yourself up. I think that was a good no call. Henry comes in. If he gave himself up a little bit earlier, then you know that likely would have drawn a flag.
And now down 21 points. The Browns can't get the play in. And Derek Anderson is frustrated as he has to call the second timeout for the Browns in the half. Second down when we come back.
NASN is giving you the chance to choose which live game you want to see with an MLB viewer's choice. See the Twins face off against the Rays in Tampa Bay. The White Sox battle the Yankees in New York, or catch the Phillies fight for a win against the Braves in Atlanta. Choose which game you want to see and visit NASN.com now to cast your vote. A Major League Baseball viewer's choice. Watch the winning game live on September 18th, only on NASN.
Here we go, baby. Showtime. We're going to make every play agile, mobile, and hostile. Give me love on 3. 1, 2, 3. Give me love.
Say something, driver. I don't say nothing, man. I just play the game, baby. That's all I do. Play the game and smile. That's all I do, though. Just play the game and go.
I know you guys know that great things happen on days like this. Great things.
September on NASN. The Warriors of the NFL return to kick off another regular season.
He is in for the touchdown.
MLB's best begin the hunt for October and a place in the postseason. And the college football season is up and running, including Ohio State versus USC in one of the sport's best non-conference matchups.
What a catch!
September on NASN.
Derek Anderson is hit on 3 straight passes after going 0 for 9 during a stretch after their only touchdown of the day, down by 21 at second down. Anderson with time throws low for Winslow. And now it's 3rd down. And no matter what happens the rest of this drive, you know that those 2 used timeouts are going to come back potentially and really hurt this Browns comeback effort if they can mount some sort of rally here in the 4th quarter. It's 3rd and 7. You could see movement. I believe it was Braylon Edwards.
Full start, number 17, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Sloppy play offensively for Cleveland.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of that coming from Braylon Edwards. He's had more than 1 penalty. He's had more than 1 drop. And, you know, this guy's an outstanding football player. And I know that, you know, he's going to continue to get better, and having missed that time, I think definitely has affected him. But he has struggled. He really has struggled, and the time off, you can tell, has made a difference.
They're crediting Braylon Edwards with 4 drops in this game. Pressure from where, and he comes from behind, knocks it out. That's a fumble. Picked up by Steptoe. They keep the clock winding, and it brings up 4th down. So it's a fumble. It's 4th down. And if you're the Browns, you're down by 21. You have to go for it, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think a field goal really helps you any here. And, you know, it ended up not being a bad play. And here they are running out the field goal team. And you can hear the crowd on what they think of it. You know, if they make this 28-10, it's still a 3-possession game. And likely they're not going to have that many possessions left.
Yeah, it's a 3-possession game with 1 timeout left. The way Dallas is moving the ball, I think you go for it here on 4th and 3.
Well, I don't even think there is a decision to be made. I think this is absolutely wrong by Romeo Crennel.
34-yard try is good by Dawson, but this crowd doesn't like that at all. And it's 28-10. DeMarcus Ware with the pressure. Knocked it out of the hand of Derek Anderson. Set up 4th and 3. And the Browns.
Franz, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday Franz Beckenbauer, happy birthday to you. So what would you most like for your birthday?
Well, it would be nice to turn the lights off and bring in a cake, but seriously, if ESPN Classic were to play all the games in my whole career, which were the best ones, that would make me very happy.
And so we make his day with an evening dedicated to the Kaiser at his very best. Happy birthday, Beckenbauer. The 11th of September on ESPN Classic.
points. They wanted a shot at 7. 34-yard field goal by Dawson makes it an 18-point game with over 10 to play. Felix Jones catches it over his shoulder and takes a knee. Dallas will start at their own 20 as they lead it 28-10 with over 10 minutes to play. And Tony Romo, bad chin and all,
Sports action online 24/7. Don't miss a minute of your favorite sports wherever you are, whenever you want it. Get the latest news, highlights, and analysis, and full live game coverage. Simply choose a package to suit you to watch the NHL or NCAA football live online this season. Go to espn360.com and watch live sports online 24/7 now.
Swung on, hit high in the air to right center and deep. Back is Cabrera on the track, leaps, and he made the catch against the wall. Oh, what a catch by Melky. Here's the 0-1. Line to left center. On the run is Melky racing. He makes a great catch. A better catch. A fabulous catch. Oh, the Milkman delivers.
In just 3 seasons, Sean Merriman has solidified himself as an NFL superstar. In 2007, Merriman earned his 3rd straight Pro Bowl selection in his many professional seasons. Despite facing constant doubles, Merriman still managed 12.5 sacks in 2007, second most for a linebacker. In 2008, the Chargers' best defensive weapon will look to lead San Diego to their 3rd consecutive playoff berth.
Coming up immediately after football, it's the OT presented by Lowe's. The guys will be giving an update on Tom Brady, going over all the scores and highlights from around the National Football League here in the opening weekend. Plenty to talk about, and we'll be watching. We ask you to as Romo tosses. Felix Jones gets the carry. Felix Jones has been the featured back while Marion Barber went in for x-rays on his ribs. So if we get any more word on exactly what happened to Marion Barber, we'll pass it on, or what the evaluation turns up. But at the moment, it's the rookie Felix Jones.
Yeah, and I would think that he's going to get a bulk of the work here on this possession. We did see on that last possession, Jason Garrett electing to continue to throw the football, continue to be aggressive. They gave points away when they threw the interception. I would imagine that they'll come out here and just try to run this clock down as best they can.
2nd down and 7. Handoff is to Jones running left. Not much there as the Browns stack up against the run. A gain of 1. Prior to that play, Sean Rogers and Corey Williams, 3 total tackles between them in their Browns debut. Early game rushing leaders. Michael Turner, first year as a featured guy for Atlanta. They had a big day, and look at what Michael Turner did. Willie Parker, he and the Steelers will take on Cleveland here next week. And Brian Westbrook, 91 yards, a touchdown on 19 carries against St. Louis for Philadelphia.
A great win for Atlanta. And Matt Ryan already has 1 more win than I got my entire rookie year.
3rd down and 6. Out of the shotgun. Romo throws and completes. Creighton makes the catch, and that means that Romo is now over 300 yards for the day.
And I tell you, this is easy for most veterans, but for rookie running backs, Felix Jones, to see the blitz coming and be able to get over there and pick it up, that's a good job. And I think that illustrates, why these coaches think so much of him. Typically, when a running back comes into the league, they're pretty good running the football, but they're not very good in recognizing blitzes, and more importantly, even if they do recognize it, blocking it up. But Felix Jones, boy, he's an all-around player, and he's going to contribute a lot throughout this season.
1st down Dallas, and a toss. Felix Jones running right. Penalty flag on the play, and there's nothing out there for Jones. No gain. Indication is it's against Cleveland.
number 92, defense. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Something they started to call more of a couple of years ago. Sean Rogers for a defensive hold in the middle of all that action.
Well, you just look at this Browns team with high expectations coming in, and granted, I mean, as we've said, some of the guys not 100% that are playing. Dante Stallworth not out there. Rodney Poole did not play the safety for them, but they've got some work to do if they're going to be ready to get out there to next week against Pittsburgh, a good Pittsburgh team, and rebound from this difficult performance.
That's 9 penalties now against the Browns, all coming after the first quarter in this game. Right up the gut. Felix Jones hit the hole without any problem, barely touched, and a penalty flag comes in back near the line of scrimmage, and it's a hold against Dallas. With under 7.5 to play.
Holding, number 70, offense. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
They get Leonard Davis.
Yeah, there he is right there, and he's so big. I mean, they're not going to miss many when he holds, and you can see that he just got in a bad position. He thought the running back would be further up the field, and if that would have been the case, and the linebacker would have been coming at him a little bit differently. But when you get tired late in the game, you know, it's your feet that just don't get you in the right position to make the blocks.
Leonard Davis has a picture of Kimbo Slice over his locker in the dressing room, and that's what they call him. Mixed martial arts star is Kimbo Slice, and Leonard Davis has got about 100 pounds on Kimbo.
Which one would you least like to run into?
Well, opt for neither. Forget it. 1st and 20 now. Romo just flips it backhand to Choice, and a penalty flag comes in again. Lozell Adams, it looked like, was guilty of a hold.
Holding, number 76, offense. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
There's number 76 on Cameron Wembley.
Yeah, and Flozell Adams grabbed him and slung him to the ground.
Mentioned Romo's over 300 yards for the day. Last year, Tony Romo set a club record with 7 300-yard passing days, and he's 1 for 1 this season. 302 with a touchdown and interception. 2 rushing touchdowns for Barber, who's bothered by bad ribs now. And 5 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown for T.O.
And I'll tell you, when you're completing 70% of your passes, I mean, it makes it real easy for Jason Garrett to continue to make those calls.
1st and 28, and they throw it up by 18, and the pass is caught by Stanback. He makes the catch out of bounds at the 34, a 15-yard completion for a guy who's still learning the position of wide receiver. And because Hurd is out with a bad ankle and Miles Austin is out with a bum knee, a sprained MCL, and probably will miss at least the first 2 weeks, Stanback will get some action.
Yeah, he will, and he's a raw receiver. And as you said, Joe, he's got a long way to come. They were uncertain as to whether or not he would even be able to play today because of the shoulder injury that he has experienced. I know a lot has been made of the injuries to the other guys who aren't with us, but the key guys from last year that made up this team are all on the field today.
On 2nd down, handoff is to Felix Jones, has a first down. Inside the 45 of Cleveland, here's Kurt Menefee to tell us what's coming up on the OT.
All right, thanks, Joe. Coming up after all our late games, it's the OT. All the latest on Tom Brady's knee injury. We'll recap a huge day for Donovan McNabb, Drew Brees, and the ageless wonder Brett Favre. Also, all the news, notes, scores, highlights, and interviews from around the league. That's right after all our late games are done. But for now, back to you, Joe, Troy, and Pam.
All right, Kurt, thanks. Dallas Cowboys trying to start 1-0. They're up by 18, and with 5 to go. Clock is running, first down. Felix Jones getting a heavy dose. to the 40.
Well, I know Hudson Houck is happy with what he's seeing. He's the offensive line that came to the Cowboys this year from the Dolphins. He was the offensive line coach when I was playing for the Cowboys for a number of years, and a little different philosophy for this Cowboy team from when he was here the first time with Emmitt Smith and running the football. And I know that here in the fourth quarter, running the ball the way that they are has got to make him happy.
Well, that's really where all the money that the Dallas Cowboys make as an organization, and that figures to go up when they go into that $1 billion plus stadium next year. They get a real advantage. There is no salary cap for a coaching staff, and they can overpay for coordinator Jason Garrett. They can overpay and overwhelm somebody like Hudson Houck to make sure that he comes back, and that's where they have a real advantage with the money that they have flowing through this organization.
Well, he's been a good coach in this league for a long time. You look at the names of those players that he has coached, whether it be at college or in the pros, all of them Hall of Famers with the exception of Larry Allen, and he soon will be. And the guy standing behind him right there is none other than Eric Williams. He's a long-time right tackle, played some left tackle back while I was playing, and is now an assistant offensive line coach to Hudson Houck.
3rd down and 5, and this is Choice, and it doesn't matter who's carrying it. There's plenty of room to run in front of him. And Tashard Choice picks up 15 before Leon Williams brings him down. And all the good teams are able to do this. You've got a lead, the clock is running, you keep it on the ground, you grind out yards, and you run the clock out.
Well, you look at Dallas this year, even New England last year, Seattle over the years. You know, what most of these high-scoring teams do is they come out, they throw the football early, they soften up a defense, they create big plays, they score points, and then once they get a lead, they have the ability to wear people down running the football, and that's been the blueprint, really, for the Cowboys under Jason Garrett, and that's what they're doing again here today.
Here's Choice again. Last 2 carries, this one good for 3, and we've talked a lot about this offensive line, and here are their faces again. Flozell, Corey Proctor playing at left guard in place of Kyle Kozar. Then Gerard in the middle, Leonard Davis, a Pro Bowler, and Mark Colombo, who has really been a find for this Dallas team after suffering injuries while with Chicago.
Yeah, and this one right here, Corey Proctor, you know, he's making the start because of the injury to Kyle Kozar. And they say, well, he's a little light, you know, there in the offensive line, and I look it up, he's 310 pounds. I mean, and they say well, relative to the line, he is light, but 310 pounds, when did we ever think we'd get to the day where 310 pounds was considered light?
I'll be with Dan Deerdorf tomorrow in St. Louis, and he and I talk about that all the time.
It's amazing. And in a relatively short period of time. Yep. I mean, the players got enormous over just a few years.
How about that guy, Leonard Davis, a guard who gets out on the outside, 353 pounds. 2 minutes left. Dallas on their way to a victory.
Major League Baseball continues on NASN with more live midweek matchups. First up, the A's travel to Motor City to face the Tigers. Then in the National League, the Marlins and Phillies battle as the playoff races tighten. Live midweek baseball only on NASN.
XGames.com is the year-round online destination for action sports from around the world. We've got the latest vids, bios, photo galleries, and news 24/7, 365. Moto, BMX, skate, rally, surf, and the exclusive home of the X Games. If it happened in the world of action sports, it'll be on XGames.com. Bookmark it and log on early and often. Anytime, any place. XGames.com.
Reports have just come in. More details to come on this breaking story.
Monday Night Football is back on NASN with a live doubleheader. First up, an NFC matchup as the Vikings square off against the Packers at Lambeau Field. Then longtime rivals hit the gridiron as the Broncos take on the Raiders. Coverage starts with ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. Live NFL, only on NASN.
Two minutes left. All the expectations for the Dallas Cowboys, a team that was expected really when the postseason started last year to go to the Super Bowl, and they became the first #1 seed since the new format started in 1990 to lose their first playoff game when they lost at home to the eventual champion New York Giants. All of the expectations for Wade Phillips' team. HBO tagging along during the preseason and training camp, and they have come out and been very impressive here today on the road in Cleveland. Choice to the 15-yard line. Clock continues to run, and these two, Troy, I mean, it's not even, and it's to Romo's credit, it's to Terrell Owens' credit, it's to Jason Garrett's credit, but all that stuff, all the conversations coming in, you don't even really bring it up anymore with Terrell Owens, and certainly his relationship with Romo couldn't be better.
Yeah, I agree with that, Joe, and I don't want to speak for Terrell Owens, and I don't want to speak for Tony Romo, but it seems anyway that Terrell Owens just has a respect for Tony Romo that he just didn't have at other places that he was at. And I know that Tony Romo has helped cultivate that relationship, and that's important. But, you know, and maybe part of it also is that Terrell Owens knows that if you're ultimately going to be able to have some of the success that he would like to have, it helps if you do have a positive relationship with your quarterback, but they certainly have that.
Minute 15 left. Dallas takes a timeout.
Four fast-talking American sports writers right there.
We got records.
Don't miss them. Get muted every day on Around the Horn, weekdays on NASN, your source for North American sports. Horn me!
Fast minds, fast hands, and let's take it to them. One play at a time. One play at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. We hungry, baby. No. That is the way to stomp your way into the playoffs.
NASN is giving you the chance to choose which live game you want to see with an MLB viewer's choice. See the Twins face off against the Rays in Tampa Bay. The White Sox battle the Yankees in New York, or catch the Phillies fight for a win against the Braves in Atlanta. Choose which game you want to see and visit NASN.com now to cast your vote. A Major League Baseball viewer's choice. Watch the winning game live on September 18th, only on NASN.
A minute 15 left. It's fourth down for Dallas. They called a timeout. 4th and 1. Handoff is to Choice, and on 4th down and 1, it looks like he has enough for a first down. And it is enough for a first down, and that will, in effect, end this game with under a minute to go as Choice picked it up. The upcoming schedule for the Cleveland Browns, they better get it figured out here in a hurry. 3 divisional games. They're at home against Pittsburgh, a big one, at Baltimore and at Cincinnati before their bye week, while the Cowboys are at home against Philly on Monday night, at Green Bay, at home against Washington, and then Cincinnati. And Romeo Crennel and staff will have plenty to talk about at the end of this one. Kneel down time for Romo. Today's game being produced by Richie Zients, directed by Artie Kempner. Our thanks in the booth to Steve Horn, our editorial consultant. The technical producer is Joe Stevens. Technical director is Colby Bourgeois. And the audio mixer is Fred Aldis, who on Friday turned 50. The editorial consultant is Steve, as I mentioned. The broadcast and associate directors are Derek Manning and Judy Wong. The broadcast associates Rich Gross and Bentley Elliott. The halftime show produced by Bill Richards. I'm only halfway through. I know the OT's coming up, but I have more to read. The studio show is produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The highlights coordinator is Janice Kazaza. Should I go on? Yeah, we'll be back. I have more names for you.
Monday Night Football is back on NASN with a live doubleheader. First up, an NFC matchup as the Vikings square off against the Packers at Lambeau Field. Then longtime rivals hit the gridiron as the Broncos take on the Raiders. Coverage starts with ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. Live NFL, only on NASN.